Firebird Baseball is on the air, live from Eldridge Park in Orleans, Massachusetts. OFBN presents Firebird Baseball. Tonight, the Birds will look to snap a 4-game losing streak in the last game before the All-Star break as they take on Eastern Division rival, the Harwich Mariners. And with that, we welcome you inside the Bird Sock pregame show. I'm Braden Bell, joined alongside Josh Wyde. And Josh, things have been going very poorly for Orleans recently, losers of 4 straight, and really, none of those 4 ball games have been close at all. So it begs the question, what needs to change tonight, not only to win a ball game, but to just compete against a team they haven't beaten so far in 2018, the Harwich Mariners?
For the team furthest east on the Cape, things have gone south, like you mentioned, Braden. And for Orleans, really just start to finish, they've gotten outplayed the last 4 games. They haven't really been in many ball games, like you mentioned. I think the key for tonight's ball game starts and ends with Mitchell Sanger. The last time he pitched for Orleans, he was lights out through 8 no-hit innings, was fantastic, propelled the Orleans to a combined no-hitter with Aaron Oceanbine. So I think Sanger's really the key in strong pitching so they can try and get on the right track.
Yeah, it's great to have Mitchell Sanger back there on the bump for the Orleans Firebirds, as he was phenomenal in his last outing for Orleans. Obviously, 8 innings of no-hit ball. And the no-hitter was finished off by Aaron Oceanbine, who started last night's game for Orleans. A 4-1 loss to the Hyannis Harbor Hawks. So we'll quickly look back at that one before we move on. It was a game that the Firebirds were silent offensively, besides one swing of the bat by Nick Osborne. Other than that, a very poor night offensively, and the Harbor Hawks just were able to add on some runs late in that game and really separate themselves.
Yeah, and from the get-go, they were really behind the 8 ball. When Chase Smitty got scratched late, it kind of threw everything backwards, if you will. Aaron Oceanbine had to make the spot start. Was exceptional in that ball game. 4 innings, 3 hits, no earned runs, just 1 unearned run, giving up 5 Ks and 1 walk for a guy that just pitched the night before. I mean, tip of the cap to him. He kind of demanded the ball a little bit from Skip going up to him. That's what he told Eliav after the game, and just got to credit him for gaming it up there. But the offense, like you mentioned, very dormant in that ball game, except for the 1 swing off the bat of Nick Osborne, who's just been tremendously strong through his first 19 games in the Orleans Red.
Yeah, it's been a troubling stat the last 3 games, just 6 combined runs for Orleans. We'll see if the offense can get things going tonight against one of the best pitching teams in the CCBL, the Harwich Mariners. But the big news of the day from the Orleans Firebirds, saying goodbye to Nick Osborne, the guy who leads the CCBL in home runs and will leave his time at Orleans ahead in that statistic. He signs a contract with the Oakland A's. He will be heading out.
Stop.
What happened?
It's not coming out.
What?
It's not coming out.
Hello, hello, hello?
Nothing.
No.
And it's on the codec.
How about now?
Still nothing.
Okay, I'm just going to keep pressing buttons. How about now?
Nothing.
No? No. Hello, hello, hello?
Now I can hear you, though.
I can hear you.
Well, leave that on, because we can hear each other when we do that. Whatever that last button was. Still nothing on the board, though.
Hello, hello, hello?
Nothing.
Hello, hello?
Nothing. Anything now? No. It's on input. Nothing.
What the hell?
This is down. Anything now? No. This is on. This is on.
Anything besides.
How about now?
Hello?
Nope. Nothing.
I would just close it out one more time, I guess.
I can close it once more. I just don't know if it's going to do anything in all honesty. Here, let's try this. Are all those down?
It was down first, then I pressed them up. And
Now
nothing was
now I
happening.
can't hear you. Now it's not working. Now this isn't working. How about if we turn down that? How about now? How about now?
Hello, hello. No.
Nope.
Hello, hello. No.
Nothing.
That has nothing.
Something's up with the board. I can close it down one more time if you
Here,
want.
let me unplug these.
Sure. I can flip this to output even though it obviously shouldn't. How about now? How about now?
Hello.
Nope.
How about now? No.
Nothing.
How did this just happen?
I know. It was working earlier.
Hello, hello.
Nothing. Nothing.
Talk,
Nothing.
talk,
Nothing.
talk.
It's not even the pick. Okay. See, it should not be picking up anything because I unplugged this. So now when I put it back in, you know what? The only thing, let's see. Wait 1 second.
Okay.
Let me close this down. Let me unplug this. We're going to completely I'm going to click this. Now we're on.
Hello, hello.
Still nothing?
Nope. They're on.
Okay. Play with the thing.
Okay, I'm just going to start pressing stuff, okay?
Yeah. Sure.
Hello, 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 hello,
No.
hello. Test, 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 test,
Nothing.
test. Try now. Test,
Nothing.
test, test. Test, 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 test.
Nothing.
Test, 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 test,
Nope.
test. Test, 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 test.
Nothing.
Test, 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 test.
Nope.
What the hell?
Game 35, correct?
Test, 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 test. I believe so, yeah. Yeah.
Still nothing.
I pressed
What's up,
the
Huck?
button. Okay, just
Okay,
turned it
board's
off.
on.
Wait,
Test.
is this in the... This isn't the right spot.
No.
Is
Main
it?
outright. Nope.
Yeah. I don't know who it... That's going to be our issue.
Yeah, there we go.
Lord have mercy. Okay. Hold on, hold on. Can you hear me now?
Lower the audio levels. I can't hear you at all.
Okay. I think that maybe was why we could hear each other.
Now
Test, test, test.
Now
test.
I can hear you, yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay.
Okay, so it's main mix.
Okay.
Okay, let's go back. I'll just cut everything out.
Lower the audio.
Yeah.
No, we still have time to do everything.
Do we? Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, we do. We'll just go through the national anthem, I guess.
Let's lower this a touch so we don't overmodulate.
Okay, ready?
Yeah, let me.
Okay, I'm going to... Firebird Baseball is on the air, live from Eldridge Park in Orleans, Massachusetts. OFBN presents Firebird Baseball. Tonight, the Birds will look to snap a 4-game losing streak in the last game before the All-Star break as they take on Eastern Division rival, the Harwich Mariners. And with that, we welcome you inside the Bird Talk pregame show. I'm Braden Bell, joined alongside Josh White. And Josh, things not going very well for Orleans lately. Like I said, losers of 4 straight. And they've been somewhat in blowout fashion as of lately. The pitching has struggled, the hitting has struggled, and it seems like everything needs to turn around in order for there to be any success tonight for the Birds against the Harwich Mariners, a team they haven't defeated so far in 2018.
Yeah, and for Orleans, they have struggled against the Mariners like you talked about. It was an opening night loss at White House Field where the Birds just really didn't have control of that game, losing 3-2. They obviously lost on the walk-off home run by Chris Gallen. They were leading the Mariners big here at Eldridge Park, blowing that game, losing 10-8 after Danny Casales hit a 2-run bomb in extra innings, and just been an Orleans team that has struggled against the Mariners for whatever reason, and they're just trying to get back on track with Mitchell Sanger, who's probably the key to this game for Orleans to come out on top.
Sanger on the mound, always a good thing for Orleans. Last time he was out there, he threw 8 innings of no-hit baseball, and the combined no-hitter was finished off by Aaron Oceanbine, who started last night's game for Orleans, a 4-1 loss to Hyannis. And like I said, the offense really dormant in that ball game besides one swing from Nick Osborne. And speaking of Nick, he is the big story of the day with this team as he will leave Orleans and leave Cape Cod altogether as he signed a contract with the Oakland A's. And we wish the best of luck to Nick, but a very cool story for him. He'll be heading up to Vermont playing for the Lake Monsters, the short season A-ball team for the A's, but leaving Cape Cod in sole possession of the home run chase with 8 in a very short stint with the Firebirds. He truly was a treat to watch.
Yeah, he was a treat to watch, a treat off the field as well. A great kid who just absolutely loves playing the game of baseball. We wish him the best of luck in his future endeavors with the game, and obviously a big loss for the Birds on the field considering he hit in the middle of that Orleans lineup day in and day out, was really their go-to designated hitter.
Yep, and taking over that 5-hole spot today is Carter Eldreddy, but a guy like Jack Scroshan's going to be relied on more, and the offense has a lot more pressure on it. We'll see how they can go and handle things against the Harwich Mariners, one of the best pitching teams in this league, as it will be Daniel Poitamani on the bump for Harwich and Mitchell Sanger on the mound for Orleans. That is your starting pitching matchup. Sanger, his story is well documented. Poitamani, not so much.
Yeah, these two of the best southpaws on the Cape so far this summer. Mitchell Sanger, like you mentioned, coming off that combined no-hitter. He is one of the best pitchers in the country. Danny Poitamani from Stevens Institute of Technology started as a 10th player, has really kind of developed with Harwich, was kind of cut, brought back, and he's been exceptional since. Should be a great matchup.
Two fun stories to keep an eye on. It'll be Sanger and Poitamani, the Birds and the Mariners, when we come back on the Orleans Firebirds pregame show. First pitch starting lineups coming up next on OFBN. Welcome back to Eldridge Park. It's time for Firebird baseball. Mitchell Sanger, the big left-hander from Stetson's, out there on the mound warming up. Here is the starting lineup that'll face him tonight at Eldridge Park. It'll be Ben Norman leading things off and playing center field for Harwich, followed by Aaron Shunk and Tanner Morris, the shortstop. Andre Lipsius, who has been a thorn in Orleans' side so far this summer, will bat fourth and play first base, followed by Nate Eichhoff and Danny Casals, the main second baseman. Brad Debo will catch and bat seventh, followed by Gabe Rivera and Logan Driscoll lining out the starting nine. Against the big lefty, Mitchell Sanger, trying to have an encore performance after 8 no-hit innings of baseball last time out on the bump. He'll look to provide Kelly Nicholson and company with another strong outing again tonight here in Orleans.
Obviously, for Mitchell Sanger, very hard to follow up his last act, but he's not a kid that's shying away from doing that. Obviously, threw a no-hitter earlier this season for Stetson, followed that up with a no-hitter for Orleans. Should be a good start for him, a guy that sits high to low 90s, or high 80s, low 90s with his fastball, but it's really that curveball is his go-to pitch. Not afraid to throw it for a first pitch strike.
Sanger, like you mentioned, that no-hitter at Stetson, and was 1 inning away from doing another one on Cape Cod, something that happens very rarely. We'll see what his encore performance will be against the Harwich Mariners, a team that prides themselves on pitching. Their starting lineup and offense, not so great. So we'll see if the Birds can get their first win of the summer against the Mariners here on a gorgeous Saturday night for baseball at Eldridge Park. Ben Norman digs in from the left side. He'll lead things off for Harwich, and the left-hander in Mitchell Sanger gets the sign from James Frew. The second kicks and fires, and we're off and running. And the first pitch squaring to bunt, pops it up. It goes foul, and we're underway at 7:01 p.m. So Norman, a early square to bunt, and just popped that thing straight up. Luckily for him, it was a little out of the reach of James Frew II. And it's just strike one. Norman, a young man that goes to Iowa, originally from Des Moines, Iowa, and he has struggled so far this summer, just a 186 average, 1 home run, 7 RBI. Going against a very tough southpaw, so the matchup not all that easy for him. Here comes the 0-1 pitch from Sanger. It's a breaking ball that misses inside, a fluttering curve that Sanger has attacked hitters with so far this summer in Orleans. The count is 1 ball and 1 strike. The Birds loses a 4 straight, like we've well documented early on tonight. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. Swung over the top of, it's now 1-2. Harwich, on the other hand, they have won 1 in a row, and they are currently in 3rd in the Eastern Division, 7 points up on Orleans, but 4 back at Chatham, so pretty well set in that 3rd place position. Sanger 1 pitch away from his first K. Here comes the 1-2 delivery, checking his swing and appealing down to third. He did not go, says third base umpire Bill Haynes. The count now 2 balls and 2 strikes. While we're at it, we'll give you the rest of the umpires. It's Haynes at third base, Rudy Firmbach at first, and Jeffrey Merzel, the home plate umpire. Comes the 2-2 delivery from Sanger. Breaking ball that catches the strike zone. His first strikeout of the night in his first opportunity. Norman goes down at a backwards K, and there's one away in the ballgame.
That's Mitchell Sanger's bread and butter, coming off a start where he had 8 Ks in 8 innings. He's just the guy that fills up the zone and should have a very good time against this lineup that's split between lefties and righties by Steve Angler.
So Aaron Shunk will dig in, the DH tonight from the University of Georgia. Coming up on his birthday, his 21st birthday is in 3 days. First pitch to him, he's swinging away, sends a shot out to right center field, giving chase is Pat DeMarco, but it's going to drop at the gap for extra bases. Shunk will dig for second and stand up there with a nice stand-up double with just 1 away, and the Mariners quickly in business against Sanger.
And Braden, I know we didn't get a chance to do the bird watch today, but Shunk and Steer are the bird watches that I had picked ahead of time, and
I believe you.
Pays off there for Shunk, so works well. I think he's going to have. Was going to say an extra base hit, obviously taken away. I think he's got another one in him. I think Steer also an extra base hit tonight.
There's your bird watch, and I apologize that the pregame show was cut short. Ran into a few technical difficulties, but we're all set away now. And so Sanger made it 8 complete innings his last time out without allowing a hit. This time, a third of an inning. The game of baseball can be so brutal as Tanner Morris digs in from the left side, and an early opportunity for Harwich to try to pick up an RBI. Sanger will call out his catcher to chat just in front of the mound. We'll give you the defensive alignment for Orleans. It'll be Jack Groshans in left field, Pat DeMarco in center, and J.J. Blade out in right. Infield left to right, it'll be Spencer Steer, Andrew Martinez, Carter Aldretti, and Kenyon Yovan, the starter at first base, as Logan Wyatt gets the night off. James Free II, the battery mate with Mitchell Sanger. One away, and it's Tanner Morris, the shortstop out of Virginia. 3-hole hitter for Harwich. Sanger looks back to runner at second, delivers a first pitch breaking ball that catches the top of the strike zone. It's quickly 0-1. So Orleans, they were comfortably in fourth for a while. In fact, at one point, they were only 2 points back of third and even second place. Now, they're barely clinging on to that spot, just 2 points in front of Brewster for that final playoff spot. As the 0-1 pitch gets away from Sanger, a little high, it's now 1-1. The Whitecaps have been playing a lot better lately. They sit at 23 points, Orleans at just 25. Brewster playing right now. We'll keep you updated on that game as the night goes on. Here comes the 1-1 pitch from Mitchell Sanger. Fastball outside corner, just missed. It's 2-1. So the Whitecaps taking on the Bourne Braves, and it's currently scoreless in the bottom of the fourth inning. Sanger just trying to take care of business for Orleans. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. A breaking ball sent out the other way, giving chase is Groshans, and he'll be able to make the catch just in front of the foul line down left field for out number 2. Good play by Groshans there.
Braden, you talk about how close Orleans and Brewster are, and just 10 games remaining here in the CCBL for the Orleans Firebirds. Everyone just becomes that much more meaningful, especially when you're playing an Eastern Division foe like Harwich that's beaten you up a few times. They're going to face the Whitecaps a couple more times, so those are very key games they got to win. A, so you can pick up ground in the East, but also to have the tiebreakers over those teams if it were to come down to that.
Yep, so a lot of things can happen in this league, and especially with Orleans, those 9 games after tonight left, every single one besides one against the Eastern Division. Comes the first pitch into Andre Lipsius. It gets by Free II, and advancing to third base without a throw will be Aaron Shunk, so a wild pitch. It looked like he might have crossed up Free II that time, and so now a runner just standing 90 feet away with 2 down.
Yeah, it seems on a couple of these pitches that Free II and Sanger have not been on the same page. We saw a curveball that clipped the upside part of the zone that was called a strike, but kind of handcuffed Free a little bit. So the two guys are trying to get on the same page here.
Free II and Sanger did not work together that last start when Mitchell was exceptional. Of course, that was Phil Clark behind the dish, so a new battery mate tandem to work with tonight.
And probably the reason why it's a different catcher tonight is you have the lefty on the mound,
right.
Danny Poitamani. So that way you don't have the lefty Clark facing him, who has struggled against southpaws. You have the switch-hitting catcher, James Free II, in there.
Kelly Nicholson going with an offensive approach as the pitch into Lipsius. It's low and in the dirt, and it clips off the toe of Andre Lipsius. And as strange as it may sound, probably a good thing for Orleans as it skipped by Free II and actually saves a run.
Yeah, kind of similar to what happened in the no-hitter, funny enough, for Mitchell Sanger. Hits a batter and catches a break, if you will, because if not, that's a wild pitch and a run. Now it just translates into runners on the corners and still 2 down, but now Sanger's got to follow that up and get out a tough hitter in Nate Eichhoff.
And it will be Nate Eichhoff, who had one of the worst starts you could imagine in the CCBL. Has since turned it around. The numbers now respectable at .223 through 28 games this summer, but he was reeling to start things off. This, of course, a league dominated by pitchers. And Eichhoff took a while to get going, but since has been very good as the first pitch into Eichhoff, swinging away and setting a foul ball down the first base line. It's 0-1. Looks unusual to see Logan Wyatt not patrolling things over at first base for Orleans. It's Kenyon Yovan, like I mentioned earlier on, getting the nod at first base for Kelly Nicholson and company. We weren't told anything was wrong with Logan, so it could just be regular rest. Trying to get Yovan some action. The 0-1 pitch to Eichhoff. It's back up the middle. A bloop single, and just like that, Harwich on the scoreboard. Off the bat of Nate Eichhoff, it's 1-0 Mariners.
Yeah, Eichhoff, like you mentioned, started 0 for 25, but has been hitting .333 since through his last few games. So he's really been on a tear for Harwich, and just a very good hitter at Virginia. Has batted over 300 his first 2 years there, and weird to see him kind of struggle like that, but has really kind of found his swing back together.
So for Orleans, the nightmare continues early on in ball games. If you cancel out last night, it's been runs all over the place in the last 10 games that have tormented the Firebirds, and it happens against Mitchell Sanger here tonight as ball 1 delivered outside to Danny Casals. Casals, another very dangerous hitter in this lineup. The numbers don't suggest with the average at least at just 204, but he has 11 doubles, 2 home runs, 21 RBI, and the RBI total ranks 4th in this league as he looks at ball 2 outside. So it's 1-0 Harwich here early on, top of the first inning here at Eldridge Park. It's a double by Shunk, a hit by pitch against Lipsius, and then that RBI single just moments ago by Nate Eichhoff. 2-0 pitch. Casal swings away, pops it up in foul ground. Jovan chases over, battles the wind, and overran that baseball. A rough play for Jovan. It was definitely catchable in foul ground, but he could not make the play. Instead, it's just a strike. It's 2-1.
And that's where not having Logan White hurts a little bit. He probably makes that play 9 times out of 10. It wasn't the most routine play per se, but not tracked down by Jovan, who's usually a pitcher, but a two-way guy getting the starting nod at first base.
And so we'll see if Sanger can work around that. Oftentimes with the game of baseball, those are the kind of mistakes that come back to bite you. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. It runs outside of Casals. It's now 3 balls and a strike.
And back to the part about Logan White, it's probably a normal day of rest, like you mentioned, especially with a lefty on the mound, trying to get another righty bat in there against Poitamani.
Sanger trying to come back behind 3-1 at the count to Casals. And the 3-1 pitch dips low, ball 4. The first walk of the inning, and the first inning struggles for Mitchell Sanger have blossomed into a full debacle here. The bases are loaded with 2 away. So Brad Debo will dig in, and he is licking his chops right now, the left-handed batting catcher from North Carolina State. It's been a struggle so far this summer for him offensively, but with the bases loaded against a guy like Sanger, he'll take the opportunity. Looks at strike one, a fastball in the outer half. It's 0-1. So 4 of the 6 batters so far for Harwich have reached. 1 run already across. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. A breaking ball nubbed down the left side. It's foul. Quickly 0-2. Debo, originally from Durham, North Carolina. 6 foot, 210-pound catcher. He'll be working with Daniel Poitamani momentarily. He's trying to extend the inning for now. Bases loaded, full of Mariners. It's already 1-0. Here comes the 0-2 delivery from Mitchell Sanger. Breaking ball. Bloop to the left side, fielded by the shortstop, Andrew Martinez. The throw over in time to second base for the fielder's choice, and the inning finally over. But not before the Harwich Mariners get an early run off of the Orleans Firebirds ace and Mitchell Sanger. It's 1-0 as we're through a half an inning. 1 run on 2 hits, no errors, and 3 runners left on base. We'll head to the home half of the first inning. We'll see if the Firebirds bats can get it going when we come back on OFBN. Here's the starting 9 for the Orleans Firebirds on a Saturday night. It'll be Pat DeMarco leading things off for Orleans, followed by his Vanderbilt teammate J.J. Blade. Spencer Steer will bat third and play third base. Jax Groshans will have the cleanup spot tonight and play left field, followed by Carter Aldretti playing second base and manning the usual spot in the lineup that Nick Osborne would have had, but of course he's no longer with the team. It'll be Justin Levy, the DH, following Aldretti. Kenyon Jovan batting 7th and playing first. James Free the 2nd, the catcher will bat 8th. And Andrew Martinez, the shortstop, bats 9th against the left-hander from Stevens Institute of Technology. It's Daniel Poitamani getting the nod for the Harwich Mariners.
And not every day in the Cape Cod Baseball League you see a pitcher from Stevens Institute of Technology, but Poitamani has been exceptional so far, just making his 2nd start of the summer. Started as a temporary player for the Harwich Mariners coming out of the bullpen, but has been transitioned to that rotation. 1-1 with a 2.91 ERA coming off his last start where he went 5 innings, just 1 run on 2 hits, a walk and 1 strikeout. So a guy that pitches to contact, who fills up the zone, doesn't throw too hard, really upper 80s with that fastball, will flash a plus breaking ball from time to time. So Orleans should swing early and often if they want to try and tee off on the southpaw.
And his story, a very fascinating one. Signed as a temp player, was with the Mariners, got cut, then got re-signed, and here he is starting a game very late in the season for a team that is in third place in the Eastern Division. It'll be Pat DeMarco leading things off for Orleans. A rough night at the yard for the leadoff batter for Orleans. He went 0 for 4 last night at Hyannis. So Poitamani, the southpaw from Stevens Institute of Technology, kicks and fires. A fastball low and inside. And quickly, DeMarco jumps in front 1-0. The offense has been dormant, and in large part, it seems, because of the lack of being able to walk and reach base on free passes. The 1-0 pitch runs inside. It's quickly 2-0. That is something the Birds have struggled with all season long. They're dead last in the league in walking as an offense. But it certainly has been on full display the past 2 games, where the offense has completely disappeared in the middle to late part. Comes the 2-0 pitch to DeMarco, a fastball that runs high, and just right on cue when you're talking about walks, the leadoff batter DeMarco's ahead in the count 3-0.
And DeMarco has struggled of late, just 1 for his last 14, just trying to find a way to get on base for, like you talked about, a team that doesn't walk too often.
Here comes the 3-0 to DeMarco. Fastball this time catches his own, just a get-me-over type fastball. And after 3 straight balls, Poitamani finally locates one inside the box, according to Jeffrey Merzel, and it's now 3 balls and a strike. Southpaw kicks and fires into Pat DeMarco. Fastball popped up, and it's going to be playable on the infield grass. The catcher, Debo, calling for it, and will make the catch right in front of the pitching mound for a high pop-up and loud out number 1.
And that ball just went straight up in front of home plate. Debo calling for it at the last minute, calling off the third baseman, Nate Eichhoff, to make the play. But Pat DeMarco has really struggled in that leadoff spot, just batting a .186 when leading off innings, and kind of wonder if maybe he might be bumped down to the 2-hole or even to the 5-hole where he hit at Vanderbilt.
And we saw that once this summer when, of course, Kelly Nicholson really messed with the lineup against Chatham. Logan Wyatt led off that game, but the Birds were shut out as a fastball runs outside to J.J. Blade. The count is 1-0. So you saw DeMarco work a 3-ball count, but then pop up at a 3-1 pitch. We'll see if the Birds can be more patient tonight. Here comes the 1-0 pitch to Blade. A fastball crushed out to right field. Ranging back and giving chase is Rivera, and the center fielder will call off Gabe Rivera. It's Norman that will make the catch in the right center field gap. And there's 2 quick outs for the Firebirds here in the first.
Blade gave that ball a ride, but Eldridge Park holding it in near about the 359 sign in right center field, just left of the Orleans bullpen. And good swing there by Blade, but the wind not blowing out too hard, kept the ball in the yard.
So Spencer Steer will dig in after these 2 Vanderbilt Commodore teammates flew out to start this inning. Poitamani trying to work through that first inning. A quick early run of support in his favor as ball 1 drifts outside and high to Spencer Steer, who's quietly, and when I say quietly, I mean the fact that he wasn't selected for the All-Star game, having a very good year here at Orleans. A .299 average through his first 27 games as the 1-0 pitch. A fastball swung on, fouled off over the net. It's now 1-1. 4 home runs, 18 RBI, which both of those rank inside the top 10 in the league, and has been very solid defensively as well, but was not voted an All-Star. Perhaps one of the biggest snubs on this team, along with a Logan White. Here comes the 1-1 pitch to Steer. Breaking ball that misses outside, and now Spencer ahead in the count 2-1. Of course, it was talked about when Spencer got here. His teammate Kenyon Yovan was mainly the story, but Steer has been a consistent force in the 3-hole for Kelly Nicholson. Comes the 2-1 pitch. Steer swings, fouls a pitch off over the net yet again. It's now 2-2. 1-0 in favor of Harwich as the Mariners scored an RBI single from Nate Eichhoff in the top of the first inning. It's been 2 up, 2 down so far for Orleans. Spencer Steer trying to get something going here. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Fastball swung on, fouled off to the netting. It stays at 2-2. Jax Groshans stands on deck for Orleans. The Mariners and Firebirds going at it yet again here in 2018. Poitamani comes set, lifts the glove over his face, and will now kick and fire the 2-2 pitch. Steer crushes out to left field. Ranging back is Driscoll. At the wall, it is gone. Spencer Steer sends a laser over the left field wall. It's his 5th home run of the summer, and right away this game is knotted up off the bat of Spencer Steer.
Find Spencer's grandpa, because he's probably losing his bonkers right now in the ballpark one more night in Orleans. Steer leaves the yard, and it's exactly why he was the bird watch of the game. Spencer is very comfortable at home, very comfortable against southpaws, and just smooth swing line drive over the left field fence. Nothing you can ask for more than that.
It's funny you bring up the family aspect of that. Of course, the Steer boys in attendance watching Spencer as their trip started with seeing Spencer hit a home run at Brewster, and it ends with them seeing Spencer hit yet another, same spot. 1-1 now the score, and Jax Groshans will dig in and look at ball one, a bender that misses low. It's Groshans, the Kansas Jayhawk, fresh off of his 20th birthday yesterday. Did not appear in that game, but looking to see whether or not he can improve on what has been a very good season so far for him. A 280 average through his first 15 games. Of course, missed about 2.5 weeks while he was in Taiwan with his college teammates. He sends a lazy fly ball out to right field. It's caught by Gabe Rivera, and the side is retired. But not before Spencer Steer gets things going. It's 1 run, 1 hit. No errors and nobody left on base. But the Birds are able to knot things up. It was an exciting inning of baseball here from Eldridge Park. We'll head to the second. Tied at 1 on the Orleans Firebirds Broadcast Network. Mitchell Sanger back out on the bump for the Orleans Firebirds. 1-1 the score as we're through one complete inning at Eldridge Park. 65 degrees at first pitch over a mostly cloudy sky. Wind blowing out of the east at 10 miles per hour, but not too much of a factor. Could be a benefit to left-handed batters, possibly, if a gust blows up just at the right time. All-Star game supposed to be tomorrow in Harwich. That could be canceled due to rain expected as the first pitch from Sanger, a breaking ball that drops into the strike zone to the Miami Hurricane here in the Mariners lineup. It's Gabe Rivera. So we'll keep our fingers crossed on the All-Star festivities as Rivera swings away, fouls a pitch off to the bricks. It's quickly 0-2 as one of the finest days in the CCBL, the All-Star game, as well as the home run hitting competition, scheduled for tomorrow, but who knows, weather permitting. Could be pushed back to Monday. The 0-2 pitch swung over the top of 3 pitches, and Rivera goes down on strikes and looks foolish in the process for out number 1 of the second.
And that's Mitchell Sanger at his finest, pounding the zone, then going to that bread and butter with the curveball, making Rivera look silly, and that's just what Mitchell Sanger does.
So Logan Driscoll will now dig in after seeing a strikeout like that. You got to try to change things up, and perhaps that adds to more nerves, although the Mariners were able to tag a run early on against Mitchell Sanger. First pitch, a fastball that just misses outside and low to Driscoll. Driscoll attends George Mason University, a Burke, Virginia native at 6'1", 205 pounds. Comes the 1-0 delivery. A fastball this time is able to catch the strike zone. It's 1 ball and 1 strike.
Little odd to see Driscoll in the lineup, just batting .048 against Southpaws with 4 other right-handed bats on the bench for Steve Engler.
The 1-1 pitch, a fastball that runs high, and so we've heard a little bit about how Orleans, with Kenyon Yovan especially, and also James Free II getting starts because of their offensive production. Perhaps it could be the other way around, as Driscoll a better defender. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. Popped up. It should be playable on the infield. Giving chase is Free II, and he'll be able to make the catch. A nice play by the catcher, ranging out all the way just to the right of the pitcher's mound, and there's 2 away.
A good job there by Mitchell Sanger to bounce back. That's now 3 in a row retired by the southpaw, and he's just really at his best when he gets ahead of hitters. Can easily use that curveball to make hitters look foolish. We saw him do that against Rivera. Kind of tied up Driscoll a little bit there on the pop-up. He just needs to settle down after giving up that run in the first.
So Ben Norman will dig in. He struck out looking to lead off the ball game and swings over the top of a Sanger fastball that time for strike number 1. Norman, a very smart kid. We mentioned his first time around how he's from Des Moines. Carried a 4.06 GPA through high school. He's not only very talented on the diamond, but also in the classroom as the 0-1 pitch, a fastball that runs high up near the hands. It's now 1-1. Iowa not necessarily known for their baseball, but Norman decided to stay in his home state and attend Hawkeye U as the 1-1 pitch runs low. It's now 2 balls and a strike for Mitchell Sanger.
And really makes sense why he kind of went there. His older brother Sam pitched for the baseball team in 2017. His uncle John wrestled at Iowa. His uncle Ron played basketball at Iowa. And then another uncle of his, Bob, was the former director of athletics.
Yep, both parents. It's a family school as the 2-1 pitch fouled off onto Route 28. Luckily, a car was not hit, although it was close. It's now 2 balls and 2 strikes. 1-1 the score between Harwich and Orleans. Top of the second inning. The Birds looking to break a long, cold streak. The 2-2 pitch. Breaking ball that ran about 58 feet, but Norman swung anyways. The throw down from free the second in time. It's the 3rd strikeout of the evening so far for Mitchell Sanger, and a good bounce-back inning as he sets down the Mariners in order, 3 up, 3 down. We'll head to the home half of the second inning. It'll be Carter Aldretti leading things off for Orleans when we come back on the Orleans Firebirds Broadcast Network. Time for the home half of the second inning. Carter Aldretti will lead things off for Orleans. 1-1 the score between Harwich and the Orleans Firebirds as it was Spencer Steer's solo home run in the bottom of the first that was able to knot things up. We'll see if the Birds can get some more firepower as the team that now once again has retaken the lead in home runs over the Chatham Anglers. Both those teams were tied entering the game tonight. And Orleans now with 32 long balls on the summer on top in the CCBL. Aldretti, the right-handed batter for Orleans, has provided his fair share of pop. He has 5 homers himself. Of course, 4 of them came in a 2-game stretch. The lefty Daniel Poitamani delivers his first pitch, and Aldretti booms a base hit through the left side past Morris, the shortstop. 1 pitch and a single for Carter Aldretti to get things going in the bottom of the second.
That's exactly what Carter's done the last 10 games, batting .309 over that stretch with those 4 long balls. He's really been locked in lately, really starting to turn things around this summer for the Birds, whether he's playing second, third, or left. The swing at the plate's been dialed in.
So now it's Justin Levy, and it's been a very rough stretch for him lately. 0 for his last 19. His last hit came against this Harwich Ball Club 10 days ago on July 11th. Looking to break out of this slump. He's the DH tonight as he was a late addition to this lineup. Obviously, once the news came out about Nick Osborne, Kelly Nicholson made a few changes to that lineup as Levy looks at ball 1 outside. It's right-handed batter from Kenosha, Wisconsin, trying to get back in the groove offensively. Here comes the pitch from Poitamani. Levy swings, fouls a pitch off out of play. It's now 1-1. Not only is he 0 for his last 19, he also has not reached base on a walk, so it's been a dry spell all around, not reaching base at all for the Orleans Firebirds DH tonight. An average because of the slump dipped all the way down to 195. The 1-1 pitch. Levy waits on it and crushes a ball that'll drop in front of Ben Norman. How about breaking the slump right there on a beautiful piece of hitting from Justin Levy. Back-to-back singles to open the home half of the second.
The one saving grace for Justin Levy this summer is how he's hit left-handers, batting .278 coming into the day compared to just a 172 average on the right side. So he's had some good strokes against the southpaws. Just has to get more at-bats against lefties and be put in successful spots.
Waiting on that breaking pitch from Poitamani and really just crushing that ball out. He was doing similar things in batting practice today. Chris Constantine, the third base coach, was really pleased with his performance in the cage and carried over into the game so far. And now a golden opportunity for Kenyon Yovan, who will be stepping to the plate for the first time since June 22nd. He picked up an RBI in that at-bat just about a month ago. It was an RBI walk. First pitch to Yovan, who's known more for his pitching. It's a breaking ball that catches the upper half of the zone. It's 0-1. So Yovan was the starting pitcher just 2 days ago. Got roughed up a little bit at Falmouth, but in the game tonight at first base. See if he can get something going with his lumber. The 0-1 pitch to Yovan. Fastball inside. It's now 1-1 strike. It'll be James Free the second after Yovan in a 1-1 game between Orleans and Harwich. Good crowd up on the hill here at Eldridge Park. We mentioned it, very pleasant weather here in late July. Yovan trying to put Orleans on top. It's been a while since that's happened. Comes the 1-1 pitch from Poitamani. Fastball inner half. Instead, actually a breaking ball that Yovan was fooled on. It's now 1-2.
Yeah, not the best of swings from Kenyon right there. Really got fooled on the breaker that drifted out of the zone. It's got to be an adjustment for him, not really swinging a bat like you mentioned for the last month, really. It was with Team USA, used as a pitcher, and has obviously gotten some swings in the cage, but live pitching is very different.
Absolutely, especially with a great spinner from Poitamani like we just saw right there. We'll see if Yovan can react here behind the count 1-2. Here comes the pitch. It's a 58-foot spiker of a fastball. Nice job by Debo, the catcher, to just block it like a hockey goalie for ball two. The runners cannot advance. Runners at first and second, nobody out here in the home half of the second inning. Aldretti led off the inning with a single, and Levy just pounded one of his own right in front of the center fielder, Norman. Now we'll see if Yovan can make it 3 straight. He's ready for the 2-2 pitch from the southpaw, Daniel Poitamani. Here it comes. Fastball popped up, foul ground, and it'll get out of play. Good AB so far for Yovan, just staying alive, wasting off good pitches. And when you haven't seen a live AB in just a day short of a month, that's probably about as good as you can ask for if you're Kelly Nicholson. So far, has just appeared offensively in 2 games. He's 0 for 3, but that RBI walk did make it somewhat successful in one of those 4 ABs. Once again, here comes the 2-2 pitch from Daniel Poitamani. Breaking ball misses inside, and now Yovan has worked the count back full. It's 3-2.
Yeah, that last plate appearance, like you mentioned, an RBI walk for Kenyon Yovan. It was kind of questionable if he was still even eligible back then. Turned out to be okay, and Yovan did earn that RBI, so it's still a part of his tally, just appearing in his 3rd game at the plate.
He's worked a pretty good AB here. Here comes the payoff pitch from Poitamani. Fastball grounded to the left side. It will roll foul, says home plate umpire Jeffrey Marzell, and the count stays full.
And Kenyon not pleased with himself, kind of jammed himself on that swing, not really extending the arms out there. He's just got to try to relax and get things back on track.
He's a guy that appeared in 41 games offensively at Oregon, hit .233 with 3 home runs and 12 runs batted in. So he is familiar with swinging the bat. However, hasn't happened much this summer. Runners at first and second. Here comes the payoff pitch from Poitamani. The southpaw kicks and fires. Ground ball to the left side. The third baseman, Eichhoff, touches the bag himself and then throws across the diamond in time. A fine double play as Eichhoff gets the lead runner and then guns in time to throw out Yovan, and just like that, 2 away.
Very heads-up play by the third baseman, Eichhoff, to realize that there was a force at third base. Took it right there instead of trying to make the tough play. Took the sure out and then tossed across the diamond in plenty of time. So 2 quick outs for Poitamani.
So somewhat of a rally killer as Justin Levy was able to advance to second base, obviously. But now James Free the second will step in, looking at a much different inning than he just was just moments ago on the on-deck circle. Free the second, the switch hitting catcher for Orleans will hit from the right side against the southpaw Poitamani and look at a fastball that ran away in the strike zone. It's quickly a 1 ball and no strikes. James's family is in town here on Cape Cod. They'll be leaving tomorrow as well. So Free the second playing in front of his folks. See if he can come through with a RBI here. Comes the pitch to Free the second, and James lines a ball down the left field line, but Eichhoff just sticks his glove up almost in self-defense and is able to make the catch. So quite the inning for Nate Eichhoff so far, as he had a double play himself and also makes the catch to save a run. We are through 2 complete innings here at Eldridge Park. The score 1-1 between the Harwich Mariners and the Orleans Firebirds. We'll step away and be right back as Mitchell Sanger takes them out again for Orleans here on the Orleans Firebirds Broadcast Network. We head to the 3rd inning here at Eldridge Park. 1-1 the score between the Mariners and the Firebirds. It'll be 2-3-4 due up in the Harwich half of the 3rd. Aaron Shunk will lead things off. He had a productive AB in his first time up against Mitchell Sanger. A double in the right center field gap. Later came around to score. So 2 hits, 1 run so far for Harwich. The Firebirds have 1 run on 3 base hits. That inning last time out for Orleans looked very promising after back-to-back singles, but it was a double play and then a great play by Nate Eichhoff to end the threat in the 2nd inning. So Shunk will lead things off, the right-handed batting DH. Wearing number 28 on his back as he looks at a breaking ball that spins its way into the strike zone in the lower half. It's quickly 0-1. Shunk attends Georgia along with Mason Meadows, and he looks at another pitch. It's 0-2. Meadows, of course, his teammate here on Harwich. The Atlanta, Georgia native trying to battle against another Southern boy and Mitchell Sanger. The lefty kicks and fires. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. It runs high above the head of Shunk. It's now 1-2. Good amount of scouts in attendance to watch Mitchell Sanger. Of course, word of his dazzling performance last time spreads quickly as the 0-2 pitch swung on and missed. Shunk will run down to first, but the throw by Free the second in time. And Sanger's looked very strong after some troubles in the first, as he's now retired his last 5 batters.
And now 4 strikeouts already for Mitchell Sanger, who's really got his breaking ball working, fooling hitter after hitter. 3 of the last 4 batters he's faced also retired via the K.
So that breaking ball fooling hitters like it has all summer. Of course, his debut with the Firebirds came at Chatham. Didn't have his best stuff that night. The breaking ball certainly was great, and then it actually was funny enough, even though he had 8 no-hit innings, his interview after the game with our very own Eliav Gabai, full of disappointment. Said, quote, "I'm upset that I gave up 2 runs. I didn't have my best stuff." It was comical to almost everyone else that watched the video, especially teammates of Sanger. But that's just kind of his demeanor as he throws ball 1 low to Tanner Morris, a guy that really is never pleased with his stuff. He had a fantastic season at Stetson, and, just it's one of those guys that is almost too humble, if you will. Comes the 1-0 pitch to Morris, another dazzling curveball. We've started calling that public enemy number 1. It's now 1 ball and 1 strike.
Yeah, you talk about obviously how humble the kid is, and he's as humble as they come. But on top of it, when you kind of dive into the numbers, he's kind of right when you do look at it. He threw almost 50 balls to 50 strikes, which obviously command-wise isn't great. obviously he dominated hitters for 7 innings, 7 perfect innings, so you can't really publicly say that, but it was kind of that last inning that put a sour taste in his mouth, hitting a guy, walking a guy, a couple wild pitches that translated to 2 runs.
So the count had 2 balls and 2 strikes. And yeah, you mentioned the ball to strike ratio, but I'm pretty sure anyone else on earth would take 8 no-hit innings. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Ground ball to the right side, fielded by Jovan. He'll take it himself, touch the bag, and there's now 2 away. That's just kind of the perfectionist that Sanger is, as he's now in control of this ball game, and I'm sure if he goes the rest of the way, he still wouldn't be happy about that first inning run that he allowed on a Nate Eitkoff single. So Andre Lipsius will dig in with 2 away. And another pitch Sanger would not be pleased with. He hit Lipsius his first time around, clipped him on the left toe of his black and white cleats. Sanger, the southpaw from Stetson, throws a bender that misses low and inside. It's now 1 ball and no strikes. And I get what you're saying, Josh, and that the ball-to-strike ratio wasn't great, but it just seemed like he was in command that entire time, and so the numbers do suggest one thing, but I think the actual performance we witnessed tells an entirely different story as the Cat now 1 ball and 1 strike.
Oh, Braden, I agree with you. He was dominant for 7 innings, really dominant for 8 innings.
The pitch catches the bottom of the strike zone, and now Sanger just 1 pitch away from getting through the third.
But when you're not a guy that throws 95, 97,
right,
you got to command the strike zone, and he really didn't do that, and that was kind of the point where he thought it was a negative outing.
1-2 pitch, a hard chopper, a diving stop by Aldretti. The throw on his knees across to Jovan in time as Carter Aldretti flashing the leather a bit, helping out his southpaw starting pitcher in Mitchell Sanger. And Sanger's recovered very nicely. He's now retired the last 7 he's seen. We'll head to the home half of the third inning. It'll be Andrew Martinez leading things off for Orleans in a 1-1 ball game at Eldridge Park. We'll be right back on the Orleans Firebirds Broadcast Network. Andrew Martinez will lead things off for Orleans. It'll be 9-1-2 as the Firebirds and Mariners deadlocked at 1 as we head to the bottom of the third inning. And the Birds looking for their first win of the summer over Harwich. It's been 4 dreadful losses for Orleans, 3 of which you could really say could have gone either way. Of course, back on opening night, it was a 3-2 defeat. Orleans had plenty of chances in that game. And it was a 4-3 walk-off home run loss back on June 19th. First pitch to Martinez, swung on, popped up in foul ground, ranging back as Debo, the catcher, bobbles the ball and then catches it barehanded. A smile from the face of Debo on a very odd play, but it's still an out, 1 away.
And for the kids watching at home, that's why you use 2 hands. He had both hands up there and hit the glove of Debo, but had the right hand able to make the catch off of the glove, and fundamentals coming back to help Brad Debo.
That was right in front of the bleachers here at Eldridge Park, and everyone there got a good kick out of that play as well, including Debo himself. So 1 away, and Pat DeMarco digs in for Orleans. 1-1 the score. That pitch flutters a bit high from Poitamani. Count 1 ball and no strikes. So DeMarco was able to work a 3-ball count, but eventually popped out to the catcher at his first AB. This time swings away, sends a blooper over the head of the first baseman. It drops into fair territory. DeMarco will start to dig for second base. The throw from Rivera is not in time. It's a bloop double for Pat DeMarco. And the second extra base hit of the night for Orleans has the Birds in business here in the third.
And Pat DeMarco really needed that double, was struggling of late for Orleans. That snapped a 1-for-15 skid for him, and obviously wasn't the most hard-hit baseball he'll have in his life, but placed in the perfect spot tucking inside that right field line.
So a Texas Leaguer bloop double down the right field line for DeMarco. And so J.J. Blade will dig in, having an RBI on his mind. He has 9 of them so far this summer to go along with that .315 average. Poitamani throws the first pitch, a bender inside that misses, and the count is quickly 1 ball and no strikes. And even though Poitamani has only given up 1 run so far, he's been banged around the yard a little bit. Solid base hits from 4 different Firebirds now. Blade flew out to center field, even though he got good contact his first time up, and is now ahead in the count 2-0 after a fastball runs high.
And not a guy you want to be behind for J.J. Blade. If you're Poitamani, you got to find a way to come back, attack inside, because J.J.'s got plenty of power from the left side.
Power is definitely something he has, and just the ability to send a baseball anywhere on the diamond. The 2-0 fastball is across to the outside corner. It's now 2 balls and a strike, with his Vanderbilt Commodore teammate Pat DeMarco leading off second base. The Vandy Birds were well advertised before this summer, and for the most part, they've done a pretty good job for Kelly Nicholson and company. As the 2-1 pitch, grounded to the right side, Lipsy is able to field it himself, touch the bag for out number 2, but Pat DeMarco does advance to third, stands just 90 feet away now, as Spencer Steer will dig in. He, of course, hit that home run to left field his first time up.
Yeah, productive AB for J.J. Blade after he got ahead in the count on Poitamani, but good job on Poitamani's part through that fastball on the outside corner, then threw one up in the zone that Blade chased.
So Spencer Steer, the lone source of offense so far for Orleans. That line drive laser show shot over the left field wall back at his first AB as he looks at a breaking pitch low and in the dirt. 1 ball and no strikes. DeMarco stands at third base with 2 away. 1-1 the score between Orleans and Harwich. Final game before the All-Star break here on Cape Cod. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. Steer swings away, sends another laser down the left field line, but it goes foul for strike number 1. Didn't miss extra bases by much that time, as Steer's been looking very good so far against Poitamani, and you got to assume Daniel has that in his mind out there on the bump. Here comes the 1-1 pitch to Spencer Steer. It runs outside, and a good hitter's count now for Steer. It's 2-1. So the Birds trying to break through and capture the lead. 1-1 the score. Here comes the 2-1 pitch to Steer. Poitamani kicks and fires. It runs inside, and luckily Debo was able to just barely get in front of that baseball, keep it in front of him, so DeMarco has to hold serve at third.
There's a prime opportunity for Spencer's 3-1 the count. Fantastic hitter against Southpaw, fantastic hitter at home, and has raked with runners in scoring position, batting a scorching .462 when the opportunity presents itself.
So Steer and a great hitter's count with Jack Scrotian standing on deck. Here comes the 3-1 pitch. Steer swings away. It's a line shot that is caught out there in center field. A diving grab by Norman to rob the Birds of a run on a full-fledged diving grab, and the inning is over. The Birds robbed of a run that time off the brilliance from Ben Norman. As we'll head to the 4th inning, I'll hand the play-by-play duties off to Josh White as the Firebirds score no runs on 1 base hit, no errors, and 1 runner left on base. We'll head to the 4th inning here at Eldridge Park. 1-1 the score here on OFBN.
Mitchell Sanger has retired the last 7 he's faced as he heads out to the mound to start the top of the 4th here at Eldridge Park. 1-1 the score between Harwich and Orleans. The third baseman Nate Eichhoff from Virginia digging in from the left side. Sanger got off to a rocky start in the first inning, giving up a run on 2 hits, but has settled down nicely with back-to-back 1, 2, 3 innings. So Eichhoff manning the hot corner tonight for Steve Engler. Digs in. Lefty on lefty matchup as Sanger stares in for the sign from Free. Stetson Hatter nods the head, kicks and fires. First pitch. Breaking ball hitting a line over the head of Jovan down the right field line as this one will dig for extra bases. Eichhoff takes the turnaround first and he holds up there. It's a leadoff single for Nate Eichhoff to get things going in the top of the fourth.
Wise decision that is for Eichhoff not to dig for 2 that time. This is a great job by J.J. Blade to get over that ball very quickly down the right field line. And Eichhoff looking good so far, though, against Sanger. Not something you'd really expect from the left-handed batter against such a dominant southpaw like Sanger.
So Danny Casals will try and break the deadlock tie at 1 with Eichhoff leading off at first base. First pitch from Sanger. Fastball runs outside for ball 1. Casals walked in his first plate appearance, entering the night batting .204 with 2 home runs and 21 RBIs through his first 31 games. Eichhoff leads off first base. Here's the 1-0. Fastball on a line over the head of Aldretti and into right center field. Eichhoff taking the turnaround second base. He'll head to third as DeMarco throws the ball into the shortstop Martinez. Back-to-back singles for the Harwich Mariners. And Mariners have the runners on the corners with nobody down.
Just one of those quick rallies from nowhere. It looked like Sanger had really dialed in his stuff the past 2 innings. It was 7 straight retired, but now back-to-back singles and a major rally now for Harwich.
So Brad Debo, the left-handed hitting catcher from NC State, will dig in. Debo 0 for 1 tonight, grounding out to the shortstop Martinez back in the first. Harwich 1 and Orleans 1 with nobody down here in the fourth. Casals leads off first. Eichhoff 90 feet away at third. Sanger comes set at the chest. First pitch from the southpaw. Fastball hit on a line out to center field. DeMarco ranging back. Has plenty of room and makes the catch. Tagging in from third base is Eichhoff. The throw to the shortstop Martinez. A sacrifice fly RBI for Brad Debo. It's the Harwich Mariners taking the lead, 2-1, here with 1 away in the top of the fourth inning.
Yep, just a successful piece of hitting that time by Debo, knowing the spot, knowing what he has to do, just sends that ball out to center field. It would be a routine pop-up any other situation, but in that situation, good enough to give your team the lead.
So Gabe Rivera, the right fielder from Miami, digs in from the right side. Rivera 0 for 1 tonight, struck out swinging back in the second. One of 4 strikeout victims already for Mitchell Sanger. He's already given up 2 runs, matching his total the last time out. First pitch to Rivera. Breaking ball that runs low and inside, blocked by the catcher Free at the second, as Casals stays put at first base. Rivera batting a .190 so far this summer with 4 RBIs through his first 24 games. He has thrived against Orleans, just batting .353 through his first 4 games against the Firebirds. 2-1 the score in favor of Harwich with 1 away in the top of the fourth inning. 1-0 pitch from the southpaw. Fastball runs outside. And now a good hitter's count for Rivera at 2-0. Rivera, one of the best freshmen in the country by perfect game, was in their annual ranking of the top 400. 2-0, fastball hit on a line out to center field. DeMarco turned around. He's ranging back, and he can't get there as this one runs up against the fence. Digging around third base is Casals as Rivera heads for third. And he's in standing up easily. It's an RBI triple for Gabe Rivera. And the Mariners lead the Firebirds 3-1.
And Gabe Rivera wanted it inside the park that time as he was digging all the way around, smiling and laughing with third base coach Peter Pascarosa that time. He wanted to get the send all the way around. That was a line shot to center field. 434 here at Eldridge, rolled all the way to the wall. And just a great swing and hard contact off the bat of Rivera.
Now Jamie Quinn, the pitching coach for Orleans, will come out and talk to Mitchell Sanger. And obviously Mitchell went deep in that last ball game, 102 pitches, which is kind of rare to see in the Cape Cod Baseball League. He did throw 8 no-hit innings. So Quinn will come out and talk to him as it appears that some action gets going in the Orleans bullpen as a righty starts to toss with the bullpen catcher James Ingram. It's 3-1 the score in favor of Harwich, with still only 1 out in the top of the fourth. Imagine Shea Smitty would be an available option for Orleans. A late scratch from yesterday's start, but fresh today and ready to go.
That's who's throwing out there in the pen for Orleans, or just beginning to toss very early on in the process. So it's Sanger's game for now, and he's going to have to try to reel things back in after a rough start to the fourth.
So Driscoll will try and add to the Harwich 3-1 lead as the left fielder from George Mason digs in from the left side. Driscoll 0 for 1 tonight, popped it to the catcher free the second. Back in inning number 2. New Orleans defense conceding the run, playing back with Rivera at third base. 6'1", 205-pound left fielder digs in. Sanger comes set at the chest. First pitch from the southpaw. Breaking ball hit into shallow right field, and that one dinks down. Rivera will trot home from third base. An RBI single for Logan Driscoll. The Mariners have put up a 3 spot in the inning. It's 4-1 in favor of Harwich.
And just great ABs. Nice job by Driscoll waiting on that breaking pitch to come down a bit. Just a nice patient hitter, even though his front leg had already come down. Sent it out to right field. Great piece of hitting by the number 9 hitter. You just got to tip your cap if you're an Orleans Firebirds fan after a great piece of hitting like that.
So now Ben Norman, the center fielder from Iowa, will dig in from the left side. Already 3 runs in the inning for the Mariners on 4 hits. First pitch to Norman, a fastball that misses upstairs for ball 1. Norman 0 for 2 tonight with a couple of strikeouts. Sanger has really had his number. Would love to retire him here. Already with 3 runs on the board in this frame. 4-1 the score in favor of Harwich. The 1-0. Fastball cut on and missed. And the count even at 1-1. Norman, the 6'2", a $195 outfielder, originally from Des Moines, Iowa. Coming off an 0 for 2 night, but did reach twice with a walk and a hit by pitch. 1-1 on its way from Sanger. Fastball that ties up Norman, a slow roller up the third base line, gloved by Steer in time to his Oregon Duck teammate Kenyon Yovan. But Driscoll advances to second, and there's 2 down in the top of the 4th.
The only explanation there is that the hit and run was on because that was one of the most defensive swings you will ever see. Ben Norman, that fastball running in on the hands and literally leaning back and throwing the bat out at the baseball there. It was basically a bunt and got the job done, but still very defensive swing.
So Aaron Shunk, the DH from Georgia, will dig in from the right side, with the Mariners leading the Firebirds 4-1. Shunk 1 for 2 tonight, had a double back in the first and came around to score on the RBI single by Nate Eichhoff. First pitch from Sanger. Curveball that paints the outside corner for strike 1. Orleans has yet to come out on top of their Eastern Division rivals, the Harwich Mariners. Harwich leading the season series 4-0. Couple of 1-run games in the early parts of June for a 2-run defeat here at Aldridge Park, where the Firebirds had led most of that ball game. 0-1 pitch. Breaking ball tiptoed up the third base line, but foul, and Sanger jumps ahead 0-2. And it was Orleans just pretty much getting outplayed the last time these two teams met 9-3. And now the Mariners on top of the Firebirds 4-1 with a 3 spot in the frame. Driscoll leads off second with 2 down. Sanger ahead of the batter, Shunk 0-2. Southpaw stares in for his sign, now comes set. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Breaking ball lifted the other way out to right field. Blade coming in, Aldretti going out, and it's Carter Aldretti making the catch. And the side is retired, but not before the Harwich Mariners score 3 runs on 4 hits, no errors, and 1 run left on base. Went to the home half of the 4th here at Eldridge Park. 4-1 the score in favor of Harwich. Listen to the Orleans Firebirds Broadcast Network. (4-1) the score in favor of the Harwich Mariners as we head to the home half of the 4th here at Eldridge Park. It'll be 4, 5, and 6 for Orleans. Jax Groshans, Carter Aldretti, and Justin Levy set to face Danny Poitamani, southpaw from Stevens Institute of Technology. So Groshans, the left fielder from Kansas, will dig in from the right side. 0 for 1 tonight after flying out to Rivera back in the first. Groshun sporting the red high socks tonight, with Orleans wearing their red home uniforms with white pants. For the Harwich Mariners, it's their road grays with high stirrups, blue and red across the shins. First pitch from the southpaw to the right-handed hitting Groshun's. Fastball corked down the right field line, tailing out of play. And this runs onto the hill here at Eldridge Park, 3/4 of the way down for strike one. Groshun's missed 16 games for Orleans this summer, coupled with a hamstring injury that was bothering him, and then was across in Taiwan in the World University Games with the Jayhawks. Cleanup hitter extends the bat towards Poitamani. 0-1 pitch from the southpaw. Fastball hit off the mound, back up the middle, glove by the second baseman Casals. High throw, but Lipsy is able to corral it in time. 1 up, 1 down, here to start the bottom of the fourth.
Nice play that time by Casals. Had a lot of different things going on. It was a hard shot. It looked like it was going to be a slow rolling ball, I should say. Then it nailed off the right side of the mound, hit up into the air, and was a tough play, but he was able to handle all that and still make a good throw.
Now Carter Aldretti, the second baseman from Arizona State, will dig in from the right side. Aldretti 1 for 1 tonight, had a hot shot line drive single through the left side. First pitch from Poitamani. Break ball that misses low and outside for ball one. Harwich on top of Orleans, 4-1, with 1 away in the bottom of the fourth. Aldretti did not get the starting nod last night at Hyannis, but back in the lineup, manning second base. 1-0 pitch from the southpaw. Fastball paints the outside corner, and the count now even at 1-1. Aldretti batting .258 this summer with 5 home runs and 15 RBIs. Has struggled against Harwich, though. Just 2 for his first 14. Poitamani wheels and deals the 1-1. Breaking ball that paints the inside corner at the knees of Aldretti, and Poitamani jumps ahead 1 ball and 2 strikes. Aldretti playing in his 28th game for Orleans. We've seen him at second, we've seen him at third, as well in left field. 1-2 pitch on its way from the southpaw. Fastball on an swing by Aldretti as he fights this baseball off onto the hill. And we'll do it again at 1-2. 5-hole hitter unstraps the red and black batting gloves. Now digs back in from the right side. Aldretti using an all-black bat tonight after using an all-tan piece of lumber last night. He's trying to get consistent with his approach at the plate. 1-2 pitch. Fastball tipped into the glove of the catcher Debo. Strike 3. 2 up, 2 down here to start the bottom of the fourth.
Great pitch that time by Poitamani, and seems like he's grown more confident after seeing his team put up 3 runs in the top half of this inning. Always great for a starting pitcher to see that, but even more so for a guy who was getting roughed up a bit early, but now has retired 5 in a row.
He's retired 4 in a row, I beg your pardon. 7 of the last 8. Now the batter, Justin Lavia, fastball over the heart of the plate. First strike 1. 4-1 the score in favor of Harwich with 2 down in the bottom of the fourth. Lavie 1 for 1 tonight. Singled his last time around. 0-1 pitch from the southpaw. Breaking ball that runs low and outside, and the count even at 1-1. Lavie batting a .195 with no home runs and 9 RBIs to his first 26 games. Has struggled of late. That single snapped an 0 for 19 skid. Poitamani stares in, kicks and fires the 1-1. Fastball cut on and missed, and Poitamani 1 strike away from setting down the Birds in order. Eliav Gabai will join us alongside head coach Kelly Nicholson at the end of this frame to catch up with Skip mid-game, as we appreciate Kelly Nicholson being so open with us here on OFBN. 1-2 pitch from the southpaw. Fastball that Lavie's able to hold off on, and the count now even at 2-2. Lavie coming off a rough night at the plate where he went 0 for 4 at Hyannis. Was not supposed to be in the lineup today, but with Nick Osborne expected to sign with Oakland tomorrow, Lavie getting the nod at DH. Stevens Institute of Technology southpaw stares it. Kicks and fires. 2-2 on its way. Fastball fought off by Lavie, and we'll do it again at 2-2. 4-1 the score in favor of Harwich with 2 away in the bottom of the fourth. Lavie trying to extend the inning here with 4 straight retired by Poitamani. Southpaw kicks and fires. 2-2 pitch. Breaking ball that runs outside, and the count now full at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Kenyon Yovan, the first baseman from the University of Oregon, waits on deck. He grounded into a 5-5-3 double play his last time up. Poitamani with the hands near the head. Kicks and fires. Here's the payoff pitch. Fastball outside, ball 4. Levy works out a walk after falling behind. The Birds have a base runner with 2 down.
The approach so far tonight by Justin Levy, much different than what we've seen in games past, being much more patient at the plate, pounded a great breaking ball in his first AB, and then this time just waiting for his pitch. Never saw it, take the easy base, and that's something that he was struggling on doing before tonight, but changing that up and doing a great job so far.
So now another chance for the Birds in this home half of the fourth, trailing 4-1 to Harwich. Yovan, the right-handed hitting Beaverton, Oregon native, digs in. Levy leads off first base with Portamani, the southpaw, set from the third base side. First pitch. Fastball pops up right behind home plate. The catcher, Debo, sheds the mask, calls for the ball, and makes the catch. And the side is retired. So the Birds able to pick up a base runner, but Orleans scores no runs on no hits, no errors, and 1 run left on base as the Harwich Mariners lead the Orleans Firebirds 4-1. As Kelly Nicholson will not be joining Eliav Gabai tonight, and we'll head to a break here on the Orleans Firebirds Broadcast Network with the Mariners leading the Firebirds 4-1. You're listening to the Orleans Firebirds Broadcast Network. Welcome back to Eldridge Park with the Harwich Mariners leading the Orleans Firebirds 4-1. Chris Constantine subbing in tonight for Kelly Nicholson, and he's standing by with Eliav Gabai at first base. Take it away, Eliav.
Thanks, guys. All right, CC. Nick Osborne obviously signing with the Oakland A's. Big news. So what kind of a player and person are the A's getting?
They're getting a great player and an even better person. Ever since Nick got here, he was a spark plug for us, X-Factor type dude that can make it happen on the mound or at the plate, and he's just a great clubhouse guy. So the energy they're getting is awesome. Hurts us, but good for them.
Thanks, CC. Back to you guys.
Great stuff there from Eliav Gabai as always, and always great to see the type of people the Firebirds players are. Obviously, great baseball players here in the CCBL, but even better people for Kelly Nicholson. First pitch from Sanger to Morris plunks him on the shoulder. So Tanner Morris will reach base for the first time tonight with a hit by pitch. Here to start things in the top of the fifth with the Mariners leading the Firebirds 4-1.
Morris is pretty fussy after that, as that sounded like a very painful way to reach base. Ran right in between the letters of the left-handed batter Morris, and he'll take the base, but it didn't come easy.
It did not come easy at all, and Mitchell Sanger back out for his fifth inning of work. Has not been spotless Mitchell like we're normally used to seeing. Already given up 4 runs already. Now a stoppage in play here at Eldridge Park with headlights remaining on down the right field line, distracting the hitter here, and the home plate umpire Jeffrey Merzell holding up play. But Braden, obviously, the in-game interview, I should say, with Chris Constantine, very good to kind of touch on what Nick Osborne has meant to this Firebirds program.
Yeah, Nick Osborne, just a great kid. Obviously, we've gotten to talk to him quite a bit because of how well he's been doing, but we wish him nothing but the best in his pro career.
So Andre Lipsius, the first baseman, digs in. First pitch, a fastball that misses low and outside for ball 1. 4-1 the score in favor of Harwich with nobody down in the top of the fifth. Morris leads off first base after being hit by the pitch from Sanger. Southpaw kicks and fires the 1-0 fastball up and away. And the count now 2 balls and no strikes. Lipsius 0 for 1 tonight, but was hit by the pitch as well back in the first before being stranded at third base. Lipsius, one of 6 All-Stars on this Harwich roster, batting .325 so far this summer. 2-0. Breaking ball that tails outside, and the count now 3 balls and no strikes. Lipsy is the Williamsburg, Virginia native attending Tennessee, playing in the orange and white for the Volunteers. 3-0 pitch from Sanger. Fastball on the inside corner, and the count now 3-1. A right-hander continuing to get loose for Orleans in their bullpen. It appears that Chase Smitty will be the next arm into the game for the Firebirds. Morris leads off of first base. Sanger steps off the rubber. 4-1 the score in favor of Harwich here in the top of the fifth inning. 6'1", $190. Right-hander back in from the right side. 3-1 pitch from Sanger. Breaking ball paints the outside corner, and the count now full at 3-2. And we've heard about him before, Mr. Cardinal, as they like to call him here, trying to get the Firebirds faithful rallied.
I'm not sure what's happening right now. He's in.
Payoff pitcher, breaking ball that runs low and inside. The first two base runners of this inning have reached for the Mariners, as they have runners on first and second with nobody down.
Anyways, he's in, like, playable ground. He's standing along the right field line. Yeah, it's foul territory, but it's still definitely playable ground.
And as Steve Guerin, the PA announcer for the Firebirds, always suggests you should not be above that line, but Mr. Cardinal, I guess, a celebrity around here.
Birds, perhaps different rules. I'm not sure.
It's now Nate Eichhoff, the third baseman from Virginia, digs in from the left side. First pitch, a fastball on the outside corner, called strike one. The Mariners lead the Firebirds 4-1 with nobody out in the top of the fifth. Eichhoff 2 for 2 today with a run scored and an RBI. Left-handed swinging third baseman digs back in. Swinging a southpaw steps off the rubber. Lipsy is leading off first. Morris off of second base. The rising senior digging back in. Long stare in from Sanger, now comes set with the hands near the head. 0-1 pitch. Breaking ball fought off into shallow right field. J.J. Blade lines it up with a couple steps to his right. Makes the catch. He'll toss this ball back into the infield. A measly fly out for the first out of the frame.
Yeah, and that was much needed for Mitchell Sanger after hitting the first batter and walking the next. He needed some sort of good news to try to get himself back into a groove, and that's exactly what he got there against a guy who'd really been great so far tonight, Nate Eichhoff.
So Danny Casals, the second baseman from Maine, will dig in from the right side. Casals 1 for 1 tonight. Singles back in the fourth and came around to score. Mitchell Sanger trying to pick up a quick 2 outs here with the Mariners already leading the Firebirds 4-1. Southpaw kicks and fires. First pitch, a breaking ball that runs low and outside for ball one. If you want to hear an interesting stat, here it is. Danny Casals at home at White House Field, just batting .069. On the road, .345. 1-0 pitch. Breaking ball cut on and missed. And the count even at 1-1. In White House Field, not a place known for necessarily being a pitcher's ballpark, but the split's quite remarkable.
Yeah, he might want to consider if he comes back to Cape Cod to attend a different squad. I know that's not really possible, but good Lord, that's striking.
1-1 pitch from Sanger. Breaking ball that misses low and inside, and the count now 2-1. Despite those struggles at home, he has ranked in the top 5 in quite a few offensive categories, including being tied for first in the CCPL with 11 doubles. Sanger comes set at the head. 2-1 pitch. Breaking ball, double steal attempt, and the swing from Casals hitting James Free the second on the follow-through, and the runners will be sent back on the double steal. As rarely do you see this, the hitter impeding the catcher, but that's exactly what happened as James Free the second tried to make the throw down to third base, but Casals kind of wildly swung the bat through.
That's a scary sight to see. That was full-fledged on the follow-through. You're going to see a bit of a discussion now between the home plate umpire and Steve Englert about what he thinks should be the call there, but I think that's entirely fair. It just wasn't intentional, but it got him clear as day on the head.
And Steve Englert was asking, why isn't this catcher's interference? And it seemed that Free the second gave him plenty of room to finish his follow-through, and it was on the attempt down to third base that Casals clipped him with the follow-through.
Yeah, and scary stuff. Luckily, Free the second looks like he's okay.
So nonetheless, the Mariners lead the Firebirds 4-1 with one away in the top of the fifth. Runners on first and second for Harwich with a 2-2 count to the Mariners' 6-hole hitter. Here's the pitch from Sanger. Breaking ball that tails outside, and the count now full at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Sal's a unanimous American East first-team honoree, originally from Miami, Florida, taking his talents up the East Coast to play for the Maine Black Bears. Payoff pitch from Sanger. Breaking ball that runs outside, ball 4. Mitchell struggled with his control in this 5th inning, and he's loaded the bases with 1 down.
Yeah, and it really is tough to watch. You assumed either his start tonight would go brilliantly like last time, or you could see some struggles, and it seems like the command has ditched him here in the 5th inning. You mentioned that high pitch count he had last time, over 100 pitches, and already 2 walks and hit by pitch, only 1 away here in the 5th. And if you're Kelly Nicholson and Jamie Quinn, you got to really start getting Shea Smitty warming quickly.
74 pitches tonight for Mitchell Sanger, who has struggled with his control once again. I'm sure he'll tell you. 30 balls, just 44 strikes. First pitch to Brad Debo. Breaking ball on the inside corner for strike 1. Left-handed hitting catcher from NC State. 0 for 1 tonight, but did pick up a sac fly RBI back in the 4th. Bases full of Mariners. Casals leads off first. Lipsy is off of second. And Moore's 90 feet away at third. 0-1. Breaking ball corked down the left field line. Tailing out of play as this runs on to Route 28 here in Orleans, Massachusetts. On the count now 0-2. So Sanger just trying to reel it in this inning and get the Birds to 5. Southpaw from Stetson. Trying to get out of the jam here with the corners in for Orleans. The middle playing back for 2. And now Debo, the catcher, calls time. 4-1 the score in favor of Harwich with 1 out in the top of the 5th. 2017 All-ACC third-teamer trying to pick up another run here for the Mariners. 0-2 pitch from Sanger. Breaking ball corked out to deep center field. DeMarco racing back. He's at the track, and this ball's over his head. Coming in from third base is Morris. Lipsy is right around him standing up. With Debo heading into second base, the throw into the plate not in time. It's a bases-clearing double for Brad Debo, and it's all Mariners with the Harwich leading Orleans 7-1.
Yeah, and that was just major trouble. Second powerful shot we've seen out to center field, something you never see here at Eldridge Park. Rivera had that first one, a triple. This time it's Debo, and that's going to end the night for Mitchell Sanger. Just not the same stuff we saw from him last outing.
He struggled with his control, and when he did have the strike zone, those balls stayed upstairs. And for these hitters in the CCBL, they'll take advantage of that 9 times out of 10, and they did so there as Mitchell Sanger takes a slow walk back to the pitcher's mound, and the right-hander coming out of the bullpen. So we'll step aside here on the Orleans Firebirds broadcast network with the Mariners leading the Firebirds 7-1. Shea Smitty enters the ball game for the Firebirds with Harwich all over Orleans 7-1 with 1 down in the top of the 5th. He'll face the right fielder from Miami, Gabe Rivera, after a rough day at the office for Mitchell Sanger, who went 4 1/3 innings, gave up 7 hits, 7 runs, all of them earned. 3 walks and 4 Ks, and still responsible for Brad Debo at second base. So Rivera, who's 1 for 2 tonight at an RBI triple his last time up, digs in from the right side. Chase Smitty was expected to get the start last night for Orleans, now out there working from the first base side of the rubber. First pitch from the right-hander. Fastball fouled off by Rivera onto the hill down the right field line for strike 1. Smitty making his 13th appearance of the summer. He's 1-1 with a 3.78 ERA. Last pitched 8 days ago versus Chatham, where he went 5 innings of 4-run baseball. Debo leads off of second base. 0-1 pitch from the Louisville Cardinal. Breaking ball that fools Rivera, and the count now 0-2. It's been a rough night for Orleans. It's been a rough stretch for Orleans. Losers of 4 straight games, just 2-8 in their last 10. Are now down badly, 7-1. Debo leads off second base with 1 down. Right-hander comes set at the belt. 0-2 pitch on its way. Breaking ball that just misses low and outside. And now, Merzel punches him out, strike 3. A late call from Jeffrey Merzel. And James Free II kind of asked where that pitch was. The Orleans dugout asked for where that pitch was, and then Merzel finally signaled.
Yeah, very strange. You don't normally see a call that late, but Orleans needed something to finally go their way. Already 3 runs across in this inning, and finally, I guess, a good bit of fortune.
Now Logan Driscoll, the left fielder from George Mason, digs in from the left side. First pitch from the righty, Smitty. Fastball lifted the other way out to left center field. DeMarco on his horse in the left center field gap. Dives and can't get to that baseball. Scoring from second base is Debo. Into second base is Logan Driscoll. It's a 1 out, a 1 RBI, 2 out double for Driscoll. And the Mariners have put up a 4 spot in the inning. It's 8-1 in favor of Harwich.
This is just a solid butt kicking right now. I mean, Harwich showing no mercy, and Orleans just can't get out of their own way, really. They'll mess up a play here. Right now, they're just giving up solid base hits, but it all started with lack of control from Mitchell Sanger, and now his final line is closed. 8 runs, all of them earned, and just a disastrous night at the yard for the Firebirds.
That'll inflate his ERA pretty high after a good couple of starts. First pitch now to the 8th hitter of the inning for the Mariners. A fastball upstairs to Ben Norman for ball 1. Quiet night for Norman, 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts. They'll be glad to see Shea Smitty in the ball game. The righty just trying to get the Birds out of the inning, and they're already giving up 4 in the frame. 1-0 pitch from the Louisville Cardinal. Fastball runs up and in, and the count now 2-0. Harwich 8, Orleans 1. With 2 out in the top of the 5th. Just like Jax Groshans in 2018, Ben Norman played in the university games in 2017 with Iowa in Taiwan. 2-0 pitch from Smitty. Fastball upstairs, and now he falls by in 3-0. When Groshans went over to play catcher for the Kansas Jayhawks, it was Ben Norman playing for the Iowa Hawkeyes last year, starting in 6 games in center field. We'll try and get on base here for the Mariners. Smitty checks on the runner at second. 3-0 pitch. Get me over. Fastball down the heart of the plate. They count now 3-1. All Harwich in this ball game. 8-1 the score in favor of the Mariners with 2 down. Driscoll leads off second base after picking up an RBI double. He's 2 for 3 tonight with a couple of runs batted in. Left-handed swing center fielder back in. 3-1. Fastball cut on and missed, and the count now full at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Norman has been quiet against Orleans this summer. 0 for his first 8 with 4 strikeouts. It's the 5th meeting of the season between Harwich and Orleans. A series that has been all in favor of the Mariners. Winners of 4 straight up in this 5th game big time. Payoff pitch. Fastball on the inside corner, strike 3. Shea Smitty able to freeze Norman, and the side is retired. But not before the Mariners bring 8 batters to the plate, scoring 4 runs on 2 hits, no errors, and 1 run left on base. Put to the home half of the 5th here at Eldridge Park. 8-1 the score in favor of the Mariners. You're listening to the Orleans Firebirds Broadcast Network. It's been all Harwich at Eldridge Park. The Mariners lead the Firebirds 8-1 as we head to the home half of the fifth here in Orleans. James Free the second, the switch hitting catcher from Pacific will dig in from the right side. With the southpaw Danny Poitamani back out for his fifth inning of work. Quiet night for Free, 0-for-1 with a line out to the third baseman Eichhoff back in the second inning. Poitamani gets the sign, kicks and fires. First pitch to the Birds catcher. Breaking ball cut on and missed for strike one. An Orleans offense that's just scored 1 run on 4 hits. It's been a very dormant offense of late for the Firebirds. Combining for just 6 runs in the last 3 games, entering the night. 0-1. Breaking ball that misses up and away, and the count now even at 1-1. Orleans stands in 4th place in the East Division, just 2 points over Brewster. 1-1 pitch from Poitamani. A fastball corked out to deep left field. Driscoll looks up, and this ball is long gone. James Free the second tees one over the left field fence here at Eldridge Park. His second home run of the summer. And the Birds now trail 8-2 here at Eldridge Park.
There's a bit of good news for Orleans. James Free the second, you mentioned his second home run of the summer. This is the first from the right side of the plate, and that was a no-doubt shot right off the bat. That ball was going to soar over the fence, and a nice piece of hitting from the Orleans catcher.
The 2 long balls that Free has hit this summer have been absolute moonshots. Hit a truck on Depot Road at Chatham, and now tees one off into the parking lot here at Eldridge Park. First pitch to Andrew Martinez, a fastball on the outside corner, called strike one. Free got all of that baseball, starting to turn his summer around a little bit here. It's the 2 guys at home with their families in attendance hitting home runs tonight for Orleans. 0-1 pitch fouled back to the screen, and Poitamani jumps at 0-2. Spencer Steer left the yard back in the first inning with his grandparents and 6 other family members in attendance. And James Free the second with his parental unit in attendance going yard as well. Poitamani kicks and fires, 0-2 pitch. Fastball misses low and inside, and the count now 1-2. Martinez has struggled in his limited time as a Firebird, just batting $130 through his first 10 games. He's 0-for-1 tonight after popping out to Brad Debo. 1-2 pitch, breaking ball that fools Martinez as he goes down fishing. Second strike of the night for Poitamani, and there's 1 down in the bottom of the fifth.
The offensive struggles continue for Andrew Martinez as he has just been lost at the dish recently for Orleans, just unable to really dial anything in at the plate, and it's been really tough to watch Martinez struggle like this.
Now Pat DeMarco, the Birds' leadoff hitter, will dig in from the right side. Southpaw Poitamani kicks and fires. First pitch. Fastball that catches the outside corner for strike one. DeMarco 1 for 2 tonight, doubled back in the third, but was stranded at third base. Harwich 8 and Orleans 2 here with 1 down in the bottom of the fifth. 0-1 pitch from Poitamani. Fastball hit on the ground to the left side. Backhanded by the shortstop Morris. He throws an airmail throw that's corralled by Lipsius, but not in time, as DeMarco was able to duck out of the tag, and he reaches for the second time tonight.
Yep, and quickly marked an error, so at E6 allows Pat DeMarco to reach base, and it's a nice job to get to that ball and make the throw over in time, just a bit high. Good attempt by Lipsius to try to tag DeMarco, but he's just too quick, and the Birds finally have a base run.
The 6th error of the summer for Tanner Morris, who's been pretty much rock solid other than that at shortstop for the Mariners. It's now a little bit of a rally here for Orleans as J.J. Baudet digs in from the left side. First pitch, a fastball on the outside corner, called strike one. Baudet 0 for 2 tonight, flew out to the center fielder Norman back in the first before grounding out to Lipsius at first base in the third. But he struck a couple baseballs so far on nice line drives. 0-1 pitch. Breaking ball check swing by Baudet. He went around, says the home plate umpire Jeffrey Merzel. And Poitamani quickly jumps ahead 0-2. So Baudet trying to pick up his first hit tonight. They're entering the night with the Birds' highest batting average at .315. DeMarco leads off first with good speed. 0-2 pitch from the southpaw. Fastball hit on the ground through the left side, and that ricochets off the Harwich Mariners dugout, and we'll do it again at 0-2. 8-2 the score in favor of Harwich with 1 down in the home half of the fifth. DeMarco leading off of first with 8 stolen bases. That's tied for 5th in the CCBL. Just a 2-step lead for DeMarco off of first base. 0-2 pitch. Breaking ball on the outside corner, ring him up, strike 3. Another looping curveball from Poitamani frees another Birds hitter. And there's 2 down in the bottom of the 5th.
I'll tell you what, Daniel Poitamani has struggled a bit, but at times he just has electric stuff. That was a breaking ball that Blade had no opportunity to pull the trigger on. Drop it in there for a strike, and a very nice bender from him.
Now Spencer Steer, the number 3 hole hitter, digs in from the right side. Spencer with a couple of good ABs so far tonight. First pitch, a fastball that misses low and inside for ball 1. Steer homered back in the first, his 5th long ball of the summer, before lining out to Ben Norman in the 3rd inning, where Norman robbed an extra base hit from Steer and an RBI. 8-2 the score in favor of the Mariners. 1-0. Fastball hit on the ground to the left side, backhanded by the third baseman Eichhoff. Going to be a tough play. Throw across the diamond in time. And the side is retired, but not before the Orleans Firebirds get another one on the scoreboard on the 2nd home run of the summer by James Free II. Orleans scores 1 run on 1 hit, 1 error, and 1 run left on base. Went to the top of the 6th here at Eldridge Park. It's all Harwich. 8-2 the score in favor of the Mariners. You're listening to the Orleans Firebirds Broadcast Network. Harwich leading Orleans 8-2 as we head to the top of the 6th here at Eldridge Park. It'll be Aaron Shunk, the DH, leading things off for the Mariners as Shea Smitty gets the ball for his 2nd inning of work. It was a scoreless frame for Smitty after giving up 1 hit in the 5th. So the right-hander from Louisville facing the right-handed hitting batter from Georgia. First pitch, a fastball upstairs for ball 1. Shunk 1 for 3 tonight, doubled and came around to score back in the 1st inning on the RBI single by Nate Eichhoff. 1-0 pitch from Smitty. Fastball that misses up and away, and the count now 2-0. Shunk from Decatur, Georgia, attending hometown school, the University of Georgia, playing for the Bulldogs. Smitty stares in, wheels and deals. 2-0 pitch from the right-hander. Fastball paints the outside corner, and the count now 2-1.
So you're at this point. Unfortunately, Orleans has kind of faced this deficit often. Is you're down so much, what do? Well, you got to just try to chip away at it, and Shea Smitty's just got to throw the ball well.
2-1 pitch here from Smitty. Fastball hit hard on the ground to shortstop Martinez. Double clutch, throw it low in the dirt, but back pick by Kenyon Yovan. 1 up and 1 down. Here to start the top of the 6th.
Nice pick there from Kenyon Yovan. Not usually a first baseman, but looked like at that time on a low throw from Andrew Martinez and made the nice pick to save an error.
So Tanner Morris, the shortstop from Virginia, will dig in from the left side. Morris got hit his last time around, but came around to score on the bases clearing double by Brad Debo. First pitch to the left-handed hitting shortstop. Fastball corked down the left field line, tailing out a play and onto the highway here in Orleans, Massachusetts for strike 1. 8-2 the score in favor of the Mariners with 1 down in the top of the 6th. Smitty kicks and fires, 0-1 pitch. Fastball hit weakly over the fence down the third base line once again. And Shea Smitty jumps ahead, 0-2. Morris, one of 6 Cape Cod League All-Stars on this Harwich team. They'll play at their home ballpark tomorrow at White House Field. 0-2 pitch. Fastball fought off and fisted Morris And we'll do it again at 0-2.
Weather permitting, of course. We've discussed the forecast. It looks pretty gloomy, but we hope to get it in because it is a very cool event.
So Smitty ahead of his fellow ACC member Tanner Morris. 0-2. Breaking ball that misses low and outside, and the count now 1-2. Let's look around the CCBL and give you some score updates here at Eldridge Park, with the Birds trailing the Mariners 8-2. Smitty kicks and fires. 1-2 pitch. Breaking ball that runs low and outside, and the count now 2-2. Some good news for Orleans fans at least. It's the Bourne Braves beating the Brewster Whitecaps 5-1 at Durant Park. Falmouth leading their Western foe, Hyannis, 5-3. Smitty stares in for his sign. Here's the 2-2. Fastball high chopper to the third base side. Gloved by Steer on a backhand. He'll throw to his Oregon Duck teammate. 2 up and 2 down here in the top of the 6th inning. We'll finish the recap around the league with Wareham and Katuitt tied up at 1 at Spillane Field in the bottom of the 7th. And the Chatham Anglers beating up on the East Division leaders, the YD Red Sox, 6-2 at Veterans Field. It's now 2 down in the top of the 6th, with the Mariners leading the Firebirds 8-2. Andre Lipsius, the first baseman from Tennessee, digs in for the right side. First pitch from Smitty. Fastball runs up and away for ball 1. Lipsius 0 for 1 tonight, was hit by the pitch in the first before walking in the 5th and coming around to score. 1-0 pitch. Fastball on the outside corner, and the count even at 1-1.
So far, a very good job in this inning from Shea Smitty, controlling that fastball. Command's been his issue all summer long, but it's been very, very good so far.
1-1 pitch. Fastball corked down the right field line, and onto the hill here at Eldridge Park towards Nauset Middle School, and the count now 1-2. So Smitty trying to toss a 1-2-3 inning with the Birds trailing by 6 runs. Just for Orleans to really stand a chance offensively. Birds will have 4, 5, and 6 to up in the home half. 1-2. Breaking ball that misses low and outside, and the count even at 2-2. Shea was supposed to start yesterday's ball game, but a late scratch. It was Aaron Oceanbine, the Birds' closer, getting the ball on back-to-back days. 2-2 pitch from the right-hander. Fastball hit on the ground to the right side, gloved by the second baseman Aldretti. He'll toss the overhead inside, and the side is retired. So 1-2-3 inning for Shea Smitty on a trio of groundouts. We're to the home half, the 6th here at Eldridge Park. 8-2 the score in favor of Harwich. Listen to the Orleans Firebirds Broadcast Network. (8-2) the score in favor of the Harwich Mariners. We head to the home half of the 6th here at Eldridge Park. New pitcher into the game for Harwich. It's Matt Cronin, the right-hander from UMass Dartmouth, making his Cape Cod Baseball League debut, a right-hander that had a very successful spring with a .99 ERA at UMass Dartmouth.
We'll see if that can carry over. And he's taken over for another small school guy in Daniel Poitamani. He did a great job. 5 innings, just 5 hits allowed, 2 earned runs, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts for the Southpaw. And the offense helped him out a lot, but he had great control of his stuff and was able to navigate through the Firebird lineup for the most part tonight.
Poitamani in line for his second win of the summer. It's Mitchell Sanger on the short end. Would pick up his first loss. Now the cleanup hitter, Jax Groshans, the left fielder from Kansas, will dig in from the right side. Groshans 0 for 2 tonight with a flyout and a ground out. Jax missed 16 games this summer for Orleans due to a hamstring injury and time away at the World University Games with the Jayhawks. Righty on righty matchup. First pitch from Cronin. Fastball hit hard on the ground to the third base side. Backhanded by the shortstop Morris. He airmails the throw as Groshans slides head first into the first base bag. It'll be an infield single for Jax Groshans.
All-out effort from Jax Groshans. That kind of sums up what he means to this team. He was diving around for balls during batting practice today, and they're going to end up calling that an error on the shortstop. But still, Jax Groshans always one to dive. He's one to lay out. He doesn't care what the score is. He's going to give it his all.
Now, it looked like Groshans would have beat that ball out anyway, but another error called on Tanner Morris, his second of the night and his 7th of the summer. So the Birds have a leadoff base runner here in the bottom of the 6th, with the Mariners leading the Firebirds 8-2. Now Carter Aldretti will dig in from the right side, the second baseman from Arizona State. Aldretti 1 for 2 tonight with a single. First pitch, fastball misses up and away for ball 1. Aldretti had a tough time at the plate his last time, struck out swinging, one of 3 strikeout victims to Danny Poitamani, who has left this ball game. Poitamani going the first 5, and now it's up to Matt Cronin. 1-0 pitch, fastball runs up and in. Some chin music to Carter Aldretti. He gets a favorable hitter's count at 2-0. So Aldretti unstraps the batting gloves and digs back in from the right side. Groshans leads off of first base for Orleans. Cronin comes set at the chest. 2-0 pitch from the right side. Fastball upstairs, and Cronin now behind 3 balls and no strikes.
Good job by Carter Aldretti. No reason to swing here. You need base runners if you're Orleans, obviously down by a bunch, and be patient on this pitch.
It's not an ideal start for Matt Cronin. Behind the count, 3-out. Right-hander kicks and fires. 3-0 pitch with Aldretti taking all the way, misses outside. The Birds have runners on first and second here to start the bottom of the 6th. So with Orleans trailing 8-2, more than halfway through this ball game, the Firebirds starting to show a little bit of life. With Justin Levy, who's had 2 good plate appearances, singled in the first, drew a full count walk in the 4th. Levy, the DH from the University of Louisville, will dig in from the right side. Kenosha, Wisconsin, with a single his first time around, snapped an 0 for 19 skid. Aldretti leads off first. Groshans off of second base. First pitch from Cronin. Fastball paints the inside corner for strike 1. Levy has struggled in the month of July, just batting a .122 after getting off to a good start in June, batting .268. 2 on and nobody out here for the Birds' 6-hole hitter. 6'1", 205, right-handed hitting. Third baseman digs back in. 0-1 pitch. Fastball just fisted near the Orleans dugout, and Cronin jumps ahead 0-2. Aldretti leads off first. Groshans off of second, with the Birds trailing 8-2, and nobody down in the bottom of inning number 6. Long stare in for the right-hander, Cronin. Now the UMass Dartmouth product comes set. 0-2 pitch. Fastball up and away, and the count now 1-2.
Justin Levy's impressed us so far in his approach at the plate, and now you're in a situation where one swing of the bat can turn this back into a competitive ball game, and really not a bad guy up at the plate, the way he's looked.
Levy has put some good ABs together, and Kenyon Yovan looks like he'll get pinch hit for. The curveball hit to the third baseman. Eichhoff could be 2. Toss to Casals at second. On to first. A 5-4-3 double play, so Matt Cronin bounces back as the right-hander picks up 2 outs with 1 pitch, and there's 2 away in the bottom of the 6th.
Yeah, just a big-time pitch there, and a nice job by Eichhoff, who's really impressed us tonight. defensively and also offensively, getting the ground ball for a big-time double play.
So now Logan Wyatt will pinch hit for Orleans. The Birds' everyday first baseman did not get the starting nod tonight with the southpaw on the hill. So that'll end the day for Kenyon Yovan with Logan Wyatt entering the ball game. This will be the 33rd game played by Logan, the first time he's come off the bench all summer. Logan batting an even 300 with 4 home runs and 14 RBIs, riding a 5-game hit streak into the ball game. He's reached base in all but 2 contests this summer. First pitch to the left-handed hitting first baseman. Fastball misses upstairs for ball 1. We'll see how Wyatt adjusts to coming off the bench. A guy that entered the night in the CCBL, 3rd in on-base percentage, leading the league in walks with 25, tied for first with 9 hit by pitches. 1-0 pitch. Fastball runs outside, and the count now 2-0. So Wyatt trying to bring home gross runs from third base, with the Birds trailing the Mariners 8-2.
And Josh, not related to the ball game, but not everyone in attendance tonight at Loser, if you're wearing Firebird red, is family member of Joe Catapano in attendance. Took home the 50-50 raffle, a big-time win, and some big-time bucks. So Joe's taking us all out to eat after the game.
Sounds like a good plan to me. 2-0 pitch, a fastball on the inside corner. The count now 2-1. We've had a wave of families come in here on OFBN to Orleans. My family was here last week. Braden, your family came in at the early parts of this week, still sticking around, and now Joe's mom and girlfriend are in town. 2-1 pitch. Fastball hit weakly out to center field. The center fielder Norman coming in, and he can't get there. It's a pinch hit RBI single for Logan Wyatt as the Birds strike for another tally. It's 8-3 here in the bottom of the 6th.
Nice piece of hitting by Logan Wyatt, and the Birds just chipping away here in this frame, and a beautiful piece of very typical Logan Wyatt baseball. Just a bloop single, but finding the hole, and another run for Orleans.
It's now James Free this second. The switch hitting catcher from Pacific will dig in from the left side. It was Free launching his 2nd home run of the season, his last time up. And that at bat, he was batting from the right side with southpaw Portamani on the mound. Cronin comes set, first pitch. Fastball paints the outside corner for strike 1. So James 1 for 2 tonight. Had a solo home run his last time up after lining up on a hard line drive to Nate Eichhoff back in the 2nd. Wyatt leads off first base, extending his hitting streak to 6 games. He's now reached base in 17 straight. 0-1, a fastball cut on and missed, and Cronin jumps at 0-2. So 8-3 the score in favor of the Mariners with 2 away in the bottom of the 6th. Cronin 1 strike away from getting out of an inning here in his Cape Cod Baseball League debut. The right-hander comes set at the chest. 0-2 pitch. Fastball runs just outside, and the count now 1-2. It was all Harwich through the first 5 innings of this ball game, up 8-1. But the Firebirds have now answered with 2 runs in a row. Here's the 1-2. Fastball runs up and away. The count now 2-2. But Orleans going to need a lot more to stand a chance in this ball game.
Yeah, still a lot of ground to make up. But so far, what we've seen in these past 2 innings are very positive signs. That's all you can take right now. You can't get it all back in one swing, and the Birds starting to look a little better offensively.
Again, the good news for Orleans. It's Brewster trailing Bourne 5-1, 2-2. Fastball cut on and missed, strike 3. Matt Cronin picks up his first strikeout in his CCBL career. And the side is retired, but not before Orleans scores 1 run on 1 hit, 1 error, and 1 run left on base. We're to the top of the 7th here at Eldridge Park. The Mariners lead the Firebirds 8-3. I'll hand the play-by-play duties to Braden Bell. You'll listen to the Orleans Firebirds Broadcast Network.
Welcome back to Eldridge Park. It's been all Mariners so far on a beautiful Saturday night. 8-3 Harwich over Orleans, and Shea Smitty back out there for another inning of baseball for Kelly Nicholson and company. Smitty's been very good so far, just one hit allowed through an inning and 2/3 of work. After Mitchell Sanger was beat around at Eldridge tonight after throwing 8 no-hit innings his last time out tonight. Not so good. 4 1/3 innings pitched. He gave up 8 earned runs, and it was really a struggle from the get-go from the southpaw from Stetson. Nate Eichhoff will lead things off for the Mariners here in the 7th inning, as Harwich just looking to cap on a couple more runs and put this game out of reach for good. Eichhoff really productive in his first 2 ABs, a single, RBI single that is, in the first, and had a single and came around to score after he led off the 4th inning, an inning in which Harwich scored 3 runs on 4 hits. So he'll look to get it going yet again for the Mariners against the right-hander from Louisville and Shea Smitty. Defensive changes. Logan Wyatt comes into the ball game after pinch hitting. He stays in and will play first base as Jovan's night is over. So the Birds continue to reel. They've lost 4 in a row, and they trail big in this one. Down by 5 runs as strike 1 delivered on the outside corner. It's now 1 ball and 1 strike. Nate Eichhoff, the left-handed batter, playing third base. Here comes the 1-1 pitch from Smitty. Swings over the top of it, sends it over Route 28. It's now 1 ball and 2 strikes. Eichhoff attends Virginia, teammates with former Firebird and Andrew Abbott. Calls Bristow, Virginia, his hometown, but he was originally born in San Diego, California. Fouls off another pitch there, and the count stays at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Moved around a lot as a kid, and one of the reasons why he was born in San Diego, his father's in the Navy. Obviously, a lot of presence, the Naval Academy in San Diego. As Smitty fires at a fastball that just misses inside, it's 2 balls and 2 strikes now to the left-handed batting third baseman. So while his dad was in the Navy, his mom, a very athletic woman, played softball at Georgia Tech, also coached softball in high school, Marietta, Georgia. Ground ball to the right side, fielded by Logan Wyatt. He'll run over, touch the bag himself for out number 1 of the 7th inning on a 3 unassisted. So Danny Casals now will dig in, and we've told you about Casals a lot through the summer. His average not great. The RBI totals are 21. That ranks 4th in the league. Casals originally from Miami, Florida, and kind of went backwards of what you would expect a kid from Miami to do as he looks at ball 1, a fastball low for ball number 1. Born in the tropical paradise of Miami, Florida, and went north, and when I mean north, about as far north as you can go, all the way to the University of Maine for college. He's ahead in the count 2-0. He's been very good at Maine, hit .304 this past year. Of course, there is a CCBL connection to the Maine Black Bears. As the 2-0 pitch from Smitty is fired in on the outside corner. It's now 3 balls and no strikes. John Schiffner, the former Anglers manager and the winningest manager in the CCBL. He was in Chatham for 25. Now he's a Maine assistant coach. As that pitch runs outside, it's a 4-pitch walk, and Casals on base for the 4th time tonight. So the Mariners have their first base runner at the top of the 7th inning. It comes in the form of Danny Casals, and now Brad Debo will step in. And what an interesting night at the yard for him. And by interesting, I mean it's been very successful. Debo 4 RBI, including a bases-clearing double to dead center field his last time up. Left-handed batting catcher from North Carolina State looks at strike number 1 as Smitty's trying to reel in his command a bit. 8-3 in favor of Harwich as the Birds have just been ran out of the field. 7 runs for the Mariners came in the 4th and 5th inning, respectively. Comes the 0-1 pitch. Debo swings away and fouls it off just left of the Mariners' dugout. It's now 0-2. So it was Debo's 3-run double that really broke it open, but also Gabe Rivera pitched in with an RBI triple the inning before that, and really it's been strong pitching as well. Daniel Poitamani, the starter, was very solid through 5 innings of work. Smitty's ahead 0-2. Right-hander comes set. Here he goes, kicks and fires the 0-2 pitch. Ground ball to the left side. Fielding that ball on a candy hop is Andrew Martinez. Aldretti will look to turn 2, and he does so. Great turn on the 6-4-3 double play, and Carter Aldretti caps it off with a very strong throw. And that ends the inning here in the 7th. It's stretch time at Eldridge Park. It's all Harwich so far, 8-3 over the Orleans Firebirds. We'll take a quick timeout and come back here on the Orleans Firebirds Broadcast Network. Andrew Martinez will lead things off for Orleans as it's time for the bottom half of the 7th inning. 8-3 Harwich over the Orleans Firebirds. One game before the All-Star break. All-Star game taking place tomorrow, 6 p.m. first pitch, weather permitting, in Harwich at White House Field. And we'll have Monday off before the Birds get back at it Tuesday at White House Field in Harwich. Comes the 0-1 pitch to Andrew Martinez. It's low and in the dirt from the new pitcher, Jacob Westfall. Westfall takes over for Matt Cronin. Westfall from Tennessee, originally from Sioux City, Iowa. A right-hander working with a 5-run cushion, just trying to keep that where it is as he gets Martinez to swing over the top of a fastball. It's now 1-2.
I think it's important to mention that Monday is not a league-wide off day. A couple of rescheduled games on that day. So the Birds getting a couple extra days of rest, if you will.
Comes the 1-2 delivery. Martinez, a solid base hit through the left side. And the first hit of the night for Andrew Martinez has a Firebird aboard with nobody away in the bottom of the 7th.
It's now 3 straight innings. The Birds have had a leadoff base runner, and this offense starting to come alive a little bit. The only problem is they're running out of time being in the 7th inning. So if Orleans is really going to stand a chance, trailing 8-3, they probably got to put up 2 or 3 runs in this frame at least.
We saw one big comeback take place starting in the bottom of the 7th earlier. It was 8-1. We'll see if the Birds can put together another big rally here at the bottom of the 7th tonight. Pat DeMarco swings over the top of a fastball. It's now 0-1. Pat, 1 for 3 so far in the night. He had a bloop double down the right field line, a second AB back in the 3rd inning. Reached on an error last time up. 1 of 2 tonight against Tanner Morris, the shortstop. Comes the 0-1 delivery with Martinez leading off first base. It's a fastball just low. 1 ball and 1 strike is the count. It's the Firebirds leadoff hitter and Pat DeMarco. Pat originally from Staten Island, New York, attending Vanderbilt. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. DeMarco looks at a fastball that runs high and outside. And a good hitter's count now for Pat. It's 2-1. It's the Birds 3, the Mariners 8 here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Andrew Martinez singled to lead off this inning. Now the top of the lineup trying to keep the train rolling is the 2-1 pitch. A breaking ball in the inside corner. It's now 2 balls and 2 strikes as DeMarco doesn't quite agree with that call. Shake of the head. Now to look back at Jeffrey Merzal. Birds so far tonight with 7 base hits compared to Harwich's 8. Here comes the 2-2 pitch from Westfall. Right-hander kicks and fires. Foul tip into the glove of Depot. Strikeout number 1 of Westfall's night. And the first out of the bottom of the 7th inning as well.
Good start to his CCBL career for the Harwich Mariners, picking up a K and just making Pat DeMarco look silly.
So J.J. Blade will dig in. It's been a struggle so far for him tonight. 0 for 3 with a strikeout. Dropped down looking his last time up against the starter in Daniel Poitamani. So the Tennessee right-hander fires a fastball at the outside corner, just outside, for ball number 1. 2 SEC guys going at it here in the home half of the 7th inning. Andrew Martinez leading off from first base after he singled through the left side to get this inning going. And one of 3 Vandy Birds of the Orleans Firebirds roster trying to spark plug or rally for Orleans right here. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. Blade swings away, fouls it off over the netting just behind us. It's now 1-1. So Harwich scored at the top of the first inning off of an RBI single from Nate Eichhoff. The Birds were able to respond in the home half of the first after Spencer Steer hit a dinger. Then it got ugly for Orleans. 7 straight runs before the Birds have scored 1 apiece in the last 2 frames. 8-3 the score. Here comes the 1-1 pitch with Martinez leading off first. It's a fastball in the outside corner, almost like a pitch out. It's 2-1.
And there's 2 car headlights flashing from right field. Could present some trouble for the hitter, but now that car's starting to back up and turn around.
It's happened a few times throughout the summer where headlights have proved to be a major deterrent as the 2-1 pitch fouled off over the net. It's now 2-2. And by deterrent, I mean having to pause the game, and it's really delaying the experience of everyone here at Eldridge Park. But we understand if you got to take off early. It's fine. 2 balls and 2 strikes. J.J. Blade from the left-handed batter's box. Martinez off and running. The 2-2 pitch is low, and Andrew Martinez has a stolen base as nobody up the middle came over to cover. Martinez didn't have a great jump, but because of that miscue up the middle, he swipes the bag.
And very rare to see a runner taking off, trailing by 5 runs in the 7th inning, but Martinez swipes a bag, gives the Birds a chance to score another one in this inning with arguably their best hitters coming up and a runner in scoring position.
So J.J. Blade ready for the payoff pitch. Here it comes. Line shot to the left center field gap. Ranging over is Driscoll, and will be able to make the catch right in front of the 350 sign for out number 2. Good wood for Blade, but just in the wrong spot as it hung up in the air just a bit much, and there's two down now in the bottom of the 7th.
Yeah, very rarely does J.J. Blade have a bad night at the yard. He's put some good ABs together tonight, just finding the gloves of some Harwich Mariners, and a good chance here for Orleans to try and find a way to score here.
So Spencer Steer digs in, hit a lined yomper over the left field fence for a solo home run in his first AB tonight. 1 for 3, was robbed also his second time up of an RBI off of a diving catch from Norman. So Steer, the right-handed batter for Morgan, the first pitch to Spencer. A yoinker, shallow center field. Ranging forward is Norman. It'll drop in front of him. It'll be an RBI for Spencer Steer on a bloop hit, and Spencer Steer now has 2 RBI on the night as it drops in front of Norman, and the lead now just 8-4 in favor of Harwich.
A little confusing how that baseball kind of found some grass out there in center field. Looked like a tailor-made pop-up, but some miscommunication from Harwich lends itself to another Orleans run, and don't count the Birds out just yet, only trailing by 4.
Yeah, possibly a bit of communication deficiencies that time for Harwich. Leads to a run, so Steer continues his successful night at the yard. Now 2 for 4, 2 RBI. Jack Scroshans now will dig in. 0 for 3 on the night so far is Jax, and the right-handed batter from Kansas looks at ball one hot.
Joe Catapano, the Ken Rosenthal of the Cape Cod Baseball League, informing us that, in fact, it is the first time in 6 games that the Firebirds have scored more than 3 runs.
The offense finally breaking out. The trouble is the pitching now is struggling as the 1-1 count now to Jax Groshans. And you mentioned Ken Rosenthal of the Cape Cod League. His name Joe Catapano. You can also just call him Ken. 1-1 the count to Groshans. Fastball fouled off over the netting. It's now 1 ball and 2 strikes.
And that nickname has definitely been earned here on the CCBL.
Oh, yeah.
Fantastic features from Joe. You might as well be expecting another one tomorrow coming out from Joe. He already put out one on Noah's song, put out one about the mound art behind the pitcher's mound. Expect one tomorrow. I don't want to give it away, but should be another fantastic story from Ken.
Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Groshans ground ball up the middle, fielded by the second baseman. An underhand toss over to Morris, and the inning is over. A run does come across the score on an RBI single from Spencer Steer. We're through 7 complete innings at Eldridge Park. 8-4 the score in favor of the Harwich Mariners. We'll head to the 8th inning. It'll be Gabe Rivera leading things off for Harwich when we come back on the Orleans Firebirds Broadcast Network. Time for the 8th inning of baseball from Eldridge Park, as it'll be Gabe Rivera to lead things off. It's a tale of 3 at-bats so far for Rivera. Looked very good, tripling to center field. Wanted the wave around, wanted that inside the park home run, but he was held up there and got an RBI triple as he swings on the first pitch from Shea Smitty. Fouls it up on top of the hill for strike number 1. The other 2 ABs not so good. 2 strikeouts, and Rivera's been prone to striking out a bunch. He now has 29 through 24 games this summer. Smitty, the right-hander from Louisville, kicks and fires. A big looping, breaking ball that Rivera cannot make contact with. And the count now 0-2.
That's kind of who Gabe Rivera is as a hitter. Boom or bust. He's either going to rip a ball to dead center or he's going to strike out a bunch and could pick up the hat trick right here.
Here comes the 0-2 from Smitty. Rivera checks his swing. He did not go around, and now they will say he did. So Rivera drops down on strikes for the 3rd time tonight as home plate umpire Jeffrey Merzel rings him up, and Rivera will have to walk back to the dugout with 3 strikeouts.
Yeah, rough night in terms of the strikeouts, but it's kind of Rivera that has the last laugh at the moment. Had an RBI triple, came around to score, and it's the Mariners still leading the Firebirds 8-4.
It's been a minute or 2 for the Mariners here and there that have provided the boost they've needed offensively as ball 1 drifts outside to Logan Driscoll. Driscoll, very productive, 2 for 3, has a double and 2 RBI. 9-hole hitter for the Harwich Mariners. It's a check swing. It's a blooper down the third base line. Spencer Steer chases the ball over and cannot make the catch. It's a strike now on Driscoll. He'll stay in there. Logan gets to play ball at George Mason with his brother Garrett, also on the baseball team. A very good player at George Mason. Hit .342 this past spring with 4 home runs and 37 RBI. Very good fielder. That's mostly what he prides himself in. A .993 fielding percentage of George Mason, and had a great freshman year as well defensively as he looks at that pitch low. It's 2 balls and a strike. 8-4 the score. Harwich on top of Orleans. The 5th meeting this summer between these two teams. Harwich has taken the first 4. Comes the 2-1 pitch. Smitty bounces a ball, went about 59 feet, not the required 60. The count now 3 balls and a strike to Logan Driscoll. So Shea Smitty has done a very good job in relief after Mitchell Sanger was knocked around tonight. Here comes the 3-1 pitch. Fastball hit well to right field. Ranging back is Blade. That baseball is off the top of the wall. Extra bases for Driscoll for the 2nd time tonight. It's a stand-up double from the speedster from George Mason. And that ball just barely missed being a home run. So Driscoll now 2 doubles on the night, and the lineup card will turn over, and Ben Norman will dig in. 8-4 the score. Mariners would absolutely love another run of insurance, and the difference between 4 runs and 5 might not seem big to the casual fan, but it could be big in terms of a relief pitcher in the case that the bases are loaded. Obviously 5 runs still could not tie up the ball game, whereas 4 obviously could. First pitch fastball runs upstairs to Ben Norman. It's 1-0. Norman has struck out 3 times, trying to avoid the golden sombrero in this AB. 2 of them have been looking. The other one, he went down swinging in the 2nd. One of the only guys in this Harwich lineup that has not succeeded offensively. In fact, the only one that has not reached base. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. Norman sends it the other way, and Jax Groshun's able to make the catch. A few steps in front of the warning track for out number 2.
Jack's almost looking like a natural left fielder on that play. Really a catcher by trade. Can play some infield as well, but making that play look easy. And the rough night continues for Norman, now 0 for 5 with 3 Ks.
So Aaron Shunk will bat with 2 away. The DH tonight, 1 for 4. Doubled back in the 1st inning and came around to score the game's first run. Shunk from Georgia. We talked about how he's getting ready to celebrate his big 21st birthday in just 3 days' time. 8-4 the score in favor of Harwich. Comes the first pitch from Smitty into the Georgia Bulldog. It's fouled off over the netting, 0-1. Grew up in Atlanta, Georgia. Of course, Athens, where the University of Georgia is located, just about an hour and a half away, so staying very close to home. The 6'2", 205-pound rising junior. Here comes the 0-1 pitch from Shea Smitty. Driscoll leads off 2nd. The right-hander kicks and fires. Low into the dirt. Free the 2nd. Stops it. Will throw down to 3rd. Not in time. So stolen bag by Logan Driscoll. And another run for Harwich stands just 90 feet away. Fans starting to dwindle here at Eldridge Park as it's 9:15 on a Saturday night. The score certainly not helping too much with that, but also the time.
I think Billy Joel wrote a song about that one point in his time, 9 o'clock on a Saturday. Regular crowd shuffled in.
Great song. Great song. Here comes the 0-2 pitch from Smitty. Breaking ball, check swing. Appeal down to first, he did not go. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Josh, I know you're a big Billy guy.
You got to credit the Orleans faithful. Regular crowd did shuffle in, and there was an old man sitting next to me.
Me? Who's the old man?
I don't want to throw anyone under the bus.
Oh,
there was someone before.
I tried to get him to
Come
do
on.
it, folks. He
Come
wouldn't
on.
do it. Nice job by Josh White not budging. Here comes the 1-2 pitch to Aaron Shunk. Smitty kicks and fires. Breaking ball low in the dirt. Another good stop by James for the 2nd. The count now goes to 2-2.
The more Billy Joel lyrics we can fit in a blowout, the better, I think.
Well, Shea Smitty right now just saying we didn't start the fire. It was always burning since the world's been turning. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Deuces are wild. As Smitty comes set and fires in the 2-2 pitch to Shunk. Right-hander kicks and fires. Strike 3 on the outside corner. Shunk could not get the bat off the shoulder, and Smitty escapes the inning without a run coming home. We'll head to the bottom of the 8th inning. No more Billy, we promise. Due up for the Firebirds, it'll be Aldretti, Levy, and Wyatt, as Orleans looks to try to chip away even more here on the Orleans Firebirds Broadcast Network. Welcome back to the bottom of the 8th inning at Eldridge Park. Harwich on top 8-4. New pitcher out there for the Mariners, it's Joe LaSorsa. LaSorsa back out there on the mound, the young man from St. John's, a 5.09 ERA. 20 strikeouts in 17 and 2/3 innings, so a big-time strikeout guy on the mound. We'll see if the Firebirds can scratch across another run. They've scored in 3 straight innings, but they still trail 8-4 as Carter Aldretti looks at a fastball on the inside park for strike number 1. Braden Bell, Josh White on the call here. It's been an ugly night for the Birds at the office. And Aldretti makes contact, a bouncing ball to the shortstop Morris. Strong throw across the diamond for out number 1.
Braden, talking about offices, I got to ask you.
Yeah.
Did you see the viral video going around social media with the Cleveland Browns? Yes, the Cleveland Browns, maybe not known for their play on the field, but they put out a very funny video, I have to add, featuring 2 former Miami Hurricanes, kind of a spin-off of The Office.
It was phenomenal. I mean, the Browns haven't done a lot right lately as the first pitch from LaSorsa, fastball to Levy, inside ball 1. But that was truly great, and if you haven't seen it at home, look it up. I highly advise if you like the show The Office, you'll really appreciate this. 1-0 the count to Levy. It runs inside, now 2-0.
I think my favorite part of that entire thing is they shred the photo of Ben Roethlisberger,
Yeah.
and you just see, I think it was Miles Jack just was not happy at all, was having none of it.
2-0 to Justin Levy. Levy puts a good ride into this baseball out to center field, and a sliding grab that actually tips off the glove. Levy's now digging for second as the throw got away, and aggressive base running for Justin Levy. He's in there safely. He's been known for his aggressive base running all summer long, and perhaps his most daring act yet as he advances all the way to second on a bloop single that went off the glove of Norman. So Levy came into the night with an 0-for-19 slump. Now he stands at 2-for-3 overall and also walked tonight. Have a great night, Justin Levy. He's looked great for Orleans.
And his family in attendance as well. One of the last days they'll be here, and that's scored a double. So Justin with a single, a double, and a walk tonight, having a good day. And now Logan Wyatt, his fellow Louisville Cardinal, trying to drive him in and make it a 3-run game.
So Logan Wyatt will dig in. The lefty from Louisville looks at a fastball inside ball number 1. He pinch hit for Jovan back in the 6th. Had an RBI single. Birds looking to score for the 4th straight inning. They still trail by 4 runs. It's 8-4. Trying to make things interesting here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Some action out there in the Orleans bullpen as the 1-0 pitch to Wyatt dips low. It's 2-0 from LaSorsa.
Braden, obviously the Cape Cod Baseball League, a league where a lot of scouts come out and try and watch some of the best players. If there's a hitter in this Orleans lineup, this is the kid that I watch. This is
Absolutely.
Great guy, fantastic approach at the plate. He's reached base in all but 2 games this summer. That's now 30, 31 of 33 now with the hit in this game. He's been unreal.
It's a 2-0 pitch to Wyatt, a fastball that catches the zone. And the thing about Logan is that calm demeanor. Doesn't matter the situation. He has that same approach, that same mentality. He can walk, and he's so patient at the plate. It's so fun to watch.
We've drawn a lot of comparisons this summer to Joey Votto for Logan Wyatt, and I wanted to ask you if you saw this stat on Joey Votto. Just 7 pop-ups in the last 9 years.
Unreal as the 2-1 pitch to Wyatt, grounded foul down the first base line. And that was one of those stats that you really just have to look at for a long time. It doesn't really register the incredible play that Votto has provided.
It's funny, I was talking to Chris Constantine and Pat DeMarco about that stat last night on the road, and Pat goes, I popped up twice last night.
I mean, it's true. I mean, this is a game nowadays where people are trying to get the ball in the air to hit home runs. It's just a lost art that Joey Votto has mastered, and it's probably something you won't see again in the game of baseball for a while. Here comes a 2-2 pitch. Wyatt watches it low. It's 3-2. And maybe ever. I mean, the way that Votto has controlled himself at the dish for so long, it truly is a phenomenal thing. And we got to clarify what they mean by pop-up. It's a fly ball caught within 140 feet of home plate. So it could be to the warning track. It isn't technically a pop-up.
That's a fly ball.
Yeah, here comes the payoff pitch. Ground ball to the right side, and drifting over is the second baseman to make the play. The throw to La Sorsa gets by it, all the way into the Firebird dugout. In around from second base is Justin Levy. And the Mariners now are trying to say, and the first base umpire is calling Wyatt out. The Orleans dugout is irate. Kelly Nicholson's going to come argue with Rudy Firmbach. I'm not sure how you make this call. Logan Wyatt still standing at first. And now, after a bit of discussion, they're going to award Wyatt second. So talk about a role reversal. There was fuming heads at the Firebird dugout. And they finally get it right, and Wyatt will walk to second.
Yeah, it was Jeffrey Merzel, the home plate umpire, coming to correct Rudy Firmbach at first base. Wyatt was within the baseline, just trying to beat out what looked like a routine ground ball, but an errant throw from the first baseman, Andre Lipsius, and that'll bring out Steve Englert to talk to the southpaw, Joe La Sorsa.
So this game was all but over with. It was 8-1 Harwich, but now the Birds have scored 4 straight runs. It's 8-5 with only 1 out in the bottom of the 8th inning, and Logan Wyatt standing at second base.
Braden, we were talking about Billy Joel more than we were about baseball, and now quickly the Birds have made it a ball game, and James Free II, who had a towering home run a couple ABs ago with one swing of the bat, can make it just a 1-run game.
The parallels between this game and the game against Brewster back on July 10th, striking. 8-1 was the score. The Birds came back to win 9-8. This was 8-1 as well. Now you're sitting at 8-5 with 1 away in the bottom of the 8th inning, and James Free II digging in.
So Logan does get credit with a single and advances to second on the error by Danny Casals, already the 3rd defensive miscue by Harwich tonight.
And Wyatt also picks up an RBI. So Logan Wyatt doing a good job standing at second base. A strike one delivered into James Free II. Pardon my miscue there. Wyatt not awarded an RBI, but he still does stand at second base. The run came around to score on the air. Here comes the 0-1 pitch to Free II. Ground ball to the left side. Slow roller that Eichhoff fields and guns across in time to throw out the Orleans catcher for out number 2. And Andrew Martinez will dig in now with 2 away in the bottom of the 8th inning, and Logan Wyatt standing just 90 feet away.
Very aggressive base running there by Logan. Usually a ground ball hit to the left side. You don't take off for third base, but he read the ball well off the bat, saw it was a slow roller. And that the third baseman, Eichhoff, charged it and allowed Wyatt to advance 90 feet away. And Martinez, who had a single his last time up, trying to cut the Birds a little closer.
A solid base hit to the left side, like you said, Josh, his last time up. He looks at strike 1 from La Sorsa. Falls behind the count 0-1. Firebirds down by 3 still. It's 8-5, but this ball game was a blowout at one point, 8-1. Martinez, ground ball to the left side. Morris ranges forward. Throw on the run in time. And a nice play by Morris, who's had an interesting night defensively, but is able to make the easy one there to end the 8th inning. The Birds are able to get another run. 1 run, 2 hits, 1 error, and 1 runner left on base. We'll head to the 9th inning here at Eldridge Park. 8-5 the score on the Orleans Firebirds Broadcast Network. Welcome back to Eldridge Park. New pitcher out there for the Firebirds. It's Adam Erickson taking over for Shea Smitty. We'll get you Shea's final line momentarily. Erickson comes into the game looking for a good outing. This will be his 4th appearance of the summer, coming in with a 4.50 ERA. And here is our scores from around the Cape, brought to you by Chatham Bars Inn. Come in for a weekend clam bake, late lunch, or early dinner. Bourne defeats Brewster. That's good news for the Birds. 5-1 over the Whitecaps. So the Firebirds will stay at least 2 points on top of Brewster, regardless of this result. Falmouth gets the best of Hyannis 5-3 at Arnie Allen Diamond in a 2-hour and 41-minute contest. In the bottom of the ninth at Spillane Field, it's 3-3 between Wareham and Katuitt. That game means a lot to both sides, as the Wareham Gatemen can retake first place if they win that game. Katuitt battling for the final playoff spot. And Chatham on top of YD at Veterans Field. It's 7-2 Anglers, as Chatham currently second place behind YD, making a statement at Veterans Field. So Adam Erickson taking over for Shea Smitty, who was very solid tonight.
Shea went 3 2/3 of scoreless baseball, just 3 hits, a walk, and 4 Ks. It was supposed to be the starter last night, but transitioned well into that relief role here on a Saturday night at Eldridge Park.
Left-handed batting Morris, who made a fine play to end the last inning, swings at the first pitch against Erickson. Wyatt ranges over, makes the stop, and flips to Erickson. 1 pitch, 1 out.
Little PFP action for the Firebirds in the ninth, making it look routine. It was Harwitz in the last half that couldn't make that play and translated into an Orleans run.
So Andre Lipsius will step in, and Orleans just unable to have the big inning. They've now scored in 5 of the 8 innings, but they've only been 1 run each time. In the 9th inning, it'll be the top of the lineup and Pat DeMarco to lead things off for Orleans, trying to go up there with a 3-run deficit as the first pitch, a breaking ball, drops into Lipsius.
I think the weirdest thing you'll see is the Birds in the last 7 innings have left 1 base runner on in each of those frames.
And the only inning they haven't left a runner aboard, they scored a run. It was a solo shot by Spencer Steer. Odd ball game here at Eldridge Park as the 0-1 pitch runs outside. It's 1-1, and unfortunately, that's kind of been the issue for Orleans all summer, is unable to have the big inning. They've been able to score runs, just not in a big way. Erickson, the right-hander from Stony Brook, comes set. Delivers the 1-1 pitch to Lipsius, a ground ball to the left side. Steer fields it behind the bag. Long throw across the diamond in time. Great play by Spencer Steer to gun at Lipsius. They're 2 away in the 9th.
Spencer Steer flashing the leather, one of the best third basemen in the CCBL. Kind of a snub of the All-Star game, if you will, just based on how well he's played offensively and defensively, but making sure Orleans still in this ball game, helping Adam Erickson put up a 0 on the board.
So 2 away as Nate Eichhoff will dig in. We mentioned his start to the ball game, a very good one. Singled and RBI'd in his first AB, and singled and came around to score the next time he came up. Just sticks the bat out there and fouls a pitch off against Erickson. Adam, the numbers not great because of his last outing, which was a struggle. Gave up 2 earned runs in just an inning, but besides that, he's been very good for this team. And the gritty right-hander from Roseville, California, comes set, delivers the 0-1 pitch, ground ball to the right side that Wyatt fields, will take it himself and beat Eichhoff to the bag. 3 up, 3 down for Adam Erickson, and that's a very easy 9th inning. We'll head to the last chance for Orleans. The Birds will need 3 runs to tie it, 4 to win it. Top of the lineup, 2 up. It'll be DeMarco, Blade, and Steer. We'll see if they can pull off some more magic at Eldridge when we come back on the Orleans Firebirds Broadcast Network. Last chance for the Firebirds. They trail 8-5 as we enter the bottom of the 9th inning. New pitcher out there for the Mariners trying to close this thing out. It'll be the right-hander from Elon in George Kirby. 2.16 ERA through his first 7 games. Has a save to his credit, looking for his second of the summer, up by 3. So right-hander takes over for Joe LaSorsa, who worked the 8th inning, as this will be the 5th pitcher of the night for Harwich. LaSorsa went an inning, 2 hits, 1 run. It was earned. No walks, no strikeouts. Top of the lineup due up for Orleans, and we mentioned the situation. They need 3 runs to tie. 4 would be a walk-off. This has been a game Harwich has led or been tied in throughout the night. It was the middle innings where they were able to break it open, scoring 3 runs in the 4th and 4 runs in the 5th. Orleans has scored a run in 4 straight innings. We'll see if they can put up multiple runs and create some drama here in the bottom of the 9th. It'll all start with Pat DeMarco, who is 1 for 4 on the night so far. He doubled back in the 3rd inning. First pitch from Kirby, the right-hander. He kicks and fires. A fastball that gets by DeMarco, 0-1.
I have some unfortunate news for Firebirds fans in terms of rally purposes. Mr. Cardinal is nowhere in sight rallying the Firebird faithful.
No. Oh, I see him. He's up on the hill.
Okay.
He's there. The 0-1 pitch fastball inside. It's now 1-1. Mr. Cardinal apparently forgot the season started over a month ago. June 12th was opening day. Here we are on July 21st, his first outing of the season.
35 games in, no big whoop.
He's got 9 to go. Here comes the 1-1 pitch to DeMarco. Fastball outside corner. It's now 1-2. Of course, we kid. We appreciate the team's mascot, providing a morale boost to the fans at Eldridge Park. Kirby, the right-hander, from the windup. Here comes the 1-2 pitch to DeMarco, who swings and fouls it off back to the net. This count stays at 1-2.
And Tim Corbin, his Vanderbilt head coach, in the yard again tonight. He is in the ballpark. Said he was going to stick around for a few more days and made it down to Eldridge Park. I don't know quite when he's heading home, but getting another look at Pat and JJ.
It's great to chat with Tim the other night. Very accomplished coach. Here comes the 1-2 pitch to DeMarco. Swinging over the top of a high heater. Nice job, straight cheese from Kirby. And there's one away in the bottom of the 9th inning. Pat drops to 1 for 5 on the evening, and now it's his Vanderbilt teammate who's also had a rough night at the yard, J.J. Blade. Not often you see him go 0 for at the yard, but he's 0 for 4 so far. He'll have a chance to pick up his first hit right now. And the Birds need it in a big way, down to their final 2 outs. Blade flew out to left field his last time up. He's made some solid contact on a couple of occasions, just hasn't paid off as he looks at ball 1 outside.
I was going to say, it's one of those 0 for 4s where you walk away from the game if you're J.J. Blade, and obviously it's frustrating because he teed up a couple of good baseballs. He hit one to deep center field that pretty much only Eldridge Park would hold in.
Comes the 1-0 pitch to J.J. It runs inside, and a good hitter's count now with 2 balls and no strikes as Spencer Steer stands on deck. Good night so far for Spencer. The Birds would love it if he could come up with a runner aboard. 8-5 the score in favor of Harwich. They're 2 outs away from picking up their 5th win of the summer against this Orleans Firebirds team. Here comes the 2-0. Fastball hit the other way. Foul. Over under Route 28. It's now 2 balls and a strike.
Our very own Stu Murray chiming in on the action now. A quote from Stu, "A little late to the show, Mr. Firebird."
It's true. I don't know where he's been. We need answers. Or Joe Catapano or Eliav Gabai possibly could go ask. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. Blade swinging, fouling it off the shoe tops. That ball stayed in fair territory all the way past first base, but instead it's just a foul ball, 2-2.
And I know Joe's a very busy man. He's got a feature coming up tomorrow, his family in town, but maybe a feature could be on the way of Mr. Firebird, how it all came along.
He's got some new content coming out tomorrow. He's already talked about spray paint and naval activity. Now perhaps a bird. Literal, well, not a literal, a man in a bird costume.
Well, it was Kelly Nicholson that wished he could be a bird on the Superpowers edition, so maybe it's Kelly dressed up.
I see Kelly, so it can't be him. We need who is this man, though? Here comes the 2-2 pitch from Kirby. Outside corner, good eye by Blade to lay off of it, and it's now a full count at 3-2.
I hope it's not Stu Murray and he's pulling our leg.
Whoa. There's no way Stu could do that.
Well, Stu's sending us that text, so maybe he's plugged in with his headphones listening to us and kind of teasing us.
Here comes the payoff pitch to J.J. Blade. Ground ball to the right side. Should be playable by Casals, and he does make the routine play. 2 away in the bottom of the 9th, and the last chance for Orleans tonight will be Spencer Steer. So the Birds just 1 out away from dropping their 5th straight and dropping to 10 games under 500. Spencer Steer will be joining us on the postgame show, as he had a home run in the 1st inning, also singled home run in the 7th. So productive night at the yard for him. And really the Firebirds have had a decent night overall offensively. They've out-hit Harwich 10-9. They're being outscored 8-5. Here comes the first pitch to Steer. Fastball inner half for strike number 1. So the Birds will have 2 off days in a row. The All-Star game slated for tomorrow in Harwich, and then a off day for the Firebirds on Monday before they're back at it Tuesday at White House Field in Harwich. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Just missed inside. It's 1-1. .9:39 p.m. So this game, barring a major comeback, will last under 3 hours. Kirby, the right-hander, comes set. Here comes the 1-1 pitch to Steer. Spencer almost got hit, and he did, in fact, get barely nicked on the left elbow. It's protected by padding, so luckily Spencer is okay. But the Birds now have a base runner with 2 away in the bottom of the 9th inning in the form of a hit by pitch, and Jack Scroshans will now dig in with a runner aboard.
And a chance for Orleans, and all that the Birds need. If they can get Groshans on base, you got a chance to tie this game up with Aldretti, who's already hit 5 home runs, and behind him is Justin Levy, who's had a good night. So Birds not going down without a fight just yet.
Down by 3. They need another base runner to represent the tying run at the plate. Currently, that run stands on the on-deck circle. Jack Groshans is the batter. 2 away. Runner at first base. Kirby working out of the stretch for the first time. Kicks and fires a fastball way outside. Good eye by Jax. And now Debo, the catcher, will go chat with his closer. So the release point possibly got away from Kirby a bit after hitting Spencer Steer. And that first pitch fastball was way outside. To the left fielder for Orleans, Jax Groshans, who just barely turned 20 yesterday. Took some members of the team out to dinner after last night's game in Hyannis. Plays with great hustle every single day, something that everyone appreciates not only on this team, but people that watch him as well. As a throw over to check on Steer. Spencer's back in there safely. 1 ball, no strikes to Jax Groshans. Groshans sticks the bat up with his left hand before Kirby comes set, and he pulls back ready to go. Comes the 1-0 delivery. Fastball hit well down the left field line. That's going to be a fair ball. Extra bases for Jax Groshans as Steer's held up at third base. And just like that, the tying run comes to the plate as Carter Aldretti will have a chance to really make things wacky at Eldridge after a ringing double off the bat of Jax Groshans keeps the rally alive.
This game's not over just yet. Carter Aldretti with 1 swing of the bat can tie this thing up. This is a guy that can hit the long ball, tied for 4th in the CCBL in home runs with 5. Just needs to connect with 1 pitch right here. The Birds will have come all the way back, trailing by 7 at one point in this game.
How about this story, folks? If you would have told anyone here at Eldridge Park in the 4th inning that the Birds would have a chance to tie this ball game in the bottom of the 9th inning, they would have told you you're crazy. But here we are, runners at 2nd and 3rd, 2 away. Carter Aldretti, the batter. Comes the first pitch to Aldretti, fouled off back to the net. 0-1.
And this is where Orleans would love Nick Osborne right now if he were available. It's kind of
his spot in the lineup.
You got to move on, but it would be great to have him, a guy who leads the CCBL in homers.
Instead, it'll have to be Aldretti to get it done. Carter is 1 for 3 so far. Singled back in the 2nd, walked in the 6th. Birds would love a homer right now. It'd be a 6th of the summer. Here comes the 0-1 pitch to the Arizona State Sun Devil. Aldretti behind on a fastball, and the Birds now down to their final strike. It's 0-2.
Yeah, and even if Orleans does drop the game tonight, you got to give the Birds a lot of credit. They did some fantastic things late in this ball game, and got a tip of the cap. And Phil Clark waiting on deck if he can get an opportunity to pinch hit for Justin Levy.
Kirby, the right-hander, comes set. Here comes the 0-2 pitch to Carter Aldretti with runners at 2nd and 3rd and 2 away. Fastball fouled off behind the net. Good job by Aldretti just to battle and stay alive.
And a good battle here by Carter. Just needs to square one of these pitches up. If I'm George Kirby, I don't throw this pitch anywhere near the strike zone. Do not let Aldretti beat me here just yet.
Tying run at the plate, 8-5 the score, 0-2 count, 2 away in the bottom of the ninth inning. Aldretti, guy known to be able to go to the opposite field and connect for power. See if he can do it right here. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. Fastball popped up to right field, but it is playable. Drifting back is Casals, the second baseman, and he makes the catch at shoulder length, and the ball game is over. So the Birds are able to threaten in the bottom of the ninth, but unfortunately for Orleans, it was just too much of a hole to dig out of. They battle all the way back from 8-1 down, but end up losing it 8-5 in a 2-hour and 42-minute ball game. Danny Poitamani picks up the win. He's now 2-1. Mitchell Seger the loss. He falls to 2-1. And the save to George Kirby, his second of the summer. So the Birds battle back. They show a lot of heart, but just unable to complete the comeback, falling just short. 8-5 the final score.
Braden, if there was ever a doubt that the Birds lacked heart during this losing skid, that question has been answered for sure. Orleans really tried inning after inning to put runs on the board. They brought the tying run to the plate, just couldn't get the job done, and kind of wish Mitchell Sanger had a better day, and would be a very different story here at Eldridge Park with the Birds out hitting the Mariners 11-9.
That's happened in multiple occasions between these two teams. Orleans out hitting Harwich, but unable to win, as the Mariners have now defeated Orleans in all 5 meetings here in 2018. Another tough pill to swallow, as the Birds have now dropped 5 in a row and are 10 games under 500 for the first time in 2018. So one more time, final score, Harwich 8, Orleans 5. We'll step away for a moment here on the Orleans Firebirds postgame show before Shea Smitty joins Eliav Gabay on the OFBN postgame show. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Eldridge Park. Our very own Eliav Gabay stands by with Shea Smitty, who dazzled tonight out of the bullpen. 3 2/3 innings for him. And Eliav has line. Eliav, take it away.
Thanks, guys. Smitty, Shea, Smitty, you had 3.2 innings pitched of scoreless baseball, and then you had 4 strikeouts. So what was your mental at right there?
I mean, just getting up early in the count. I mean, when I get behind in counts, like, guys can sit on my fastball more. So just getting ahead of batters was huge. And James Freed did an outstanding job calling pitches behind the plate. I mean, just mixing it in and out and throwing 2 seams here and there. And so James did a great job tonight and just trying to get ahead of hitters.
And, you also thought you were going to start yesterday. You ended up coming out of the pen today and dealing. So what's your approach? Is it any different?
I mean, the team really picked me up yesterday. I made a mistake yesterday, and Oceanbahn and Miller and Kessler really picked me up. I mean, having our closer start and him going 4 innings is huge, and so just credit to him and the rest of the guys yesterday. But just knowing I had to eat up innings today and just trying to pick my team up like they did to me yesterday.
And you have the All-Star break tomorrow. How important is it for morale reasons for this team that you get to recharge, recoup, and kind of reflect?
I mean, I wouldn't really call it morale reasons, but I mean, just getting the bullpen guys some rest. I mean, getting the position players rest. We've been on 20 days or whatever. It's 14 days, somewhere in there, straight. So, I mean, just getting rest and getting some time off. I mean, but credit to Kevin Kelly and J.J. Blade playing on Sunday. That's really big for them, and I'm proud of them and for what they've done for this team and this season. So, just good.
Back to you guys. Thanks, Shea.
Thanks a lot to Eliav Gabay and also to Shea Smitty for Taking the time to chat with Eliav Gabay post-game. One more time, the Firebirds drop the fifth contest of the summer to the Harwich Mariners, 8-5, the final score. We'll be joined by Spencer Steer here at the broadcast table momentarily. But first, we will go with a quick scoreboard update from around the Cape. As we already told you, Brewster lost tonight. That's good news for Orleans. They dropped 5-1 against the Bourne Braves. So the Birds still 2 points ahead of Brewster for that final playoff spot. Falmouth gets the best of Hyannis 5-3 at Arnie Allen Diamond. In 10 innings, Katuitt takes care of Wareham, so the Harbor Hawks still lead the Western Division because Wareham was unable to beat Katuitt. The Kettleers win 4-3 in 10. And Chatham getting the best of YD. That game's still in the bottom of the 8th inning, but the Anglers on top 7-2 against the first place Red Sox. So Spencer Steer's family's in town. He is chatting with his grandparents right now. He'll come join the broadcast momentarily, but we'll step away for a moment, send it to a quick break before Spencer joins us on the postgame show coming up next on the Orleans Firebirds postgame show. Welcome back to the Orleans Firebirds post-game show. I'm now joined by Firebirds third baseman Spencer Steer. And Spencer, a good night for you at the yard. You went 2 for 4. You were also hit by a pitch, but you had 2 RBIs and your 5th home run of the summer back in the first inning. It was a line drive shot over the left field wall. First off, did you think that ball was gone, and what did you think of the AB as a whole?
Yeah, I mean, I was just looking to battle. It was with 2 strikes. I was kind of just looking to, keep it simple, just put the ball in play. And, I mean, I knew I hit it well, but it was a pretty low line drive, so I didn't think it was going to get out. But thank God we have short fences and a short left field.
A very short left field, but it was a line drive shot. Got out of there very quickly. And just talking about it on the post-game show before you joined us, a big group picture I saw you take, a lot of your family members in town. You hit a home run to start off their trip back in Brewster, and you close out their trip with another one. So what's it like playing in front of them?
It's so awesome. I mean, they came, from all the way from the West Coast to see me play, so that was pretty special. And, I mean, I don't get to play in front of my grandparents very often, and that was really awesome to have all of them out here together and spend a lot of quality family time. I get the whole off day tomorrow to spend with them, and then they're heading out. So, yeah, it's just been a blast, and I'm so blessed and appreciative to have a family so supportive like them.
So you mentioned the family time you'll get tomorrow, and everyone will get 2 days off besides Logan Wyatt and Kevin Kelly. They'll be competing in the All-Star game, obviously. But in terms of a ball club that's struggling a bit right now, what do these 2 days do, and what do you think the psyche of this team can be after those off days?
I think it's, just kind of clear our minds and almost get a fresh start. I mean, we're obviously battling for a playoff spot right now, so the best thing we can do is, use these off days to kind of get off our feet and just come into the last 10 games or so with a completely new mindset because we're, like I said, battling for a playoff spot. So we just got to do everything that we can to, scratch out some wins and hopefully, get a chance at the playoffs because it's not the best team that wins at the end. It's just the team that's playing the best baseball. So.
All right, 9 games to go, Spencer. Enjoy your 2 days off and your family time. Good job tonight at the yard, and we'll see you at Harwich on Tuesday.
Thank you.
All right, that was Spencer Steer. A good night for him at the yard. 2 for 4 overall, a home run, 2 RBIs, and the Firebirds' 8-5 loss here at Eldridge Park. So that'll do it for our coverage of Firebirds baseball. 2 days off now as the All-Star game tomorrow. Good luck to Logan Wyatt and Kevin Kelly. An off day Monday, and we'll be back at it Tuesday against the Harwich Mariners. Coverage beginning at 6:15 with a Bird Talk pregame show. So for Josh White, I'm Braden Bell signing off from Eldridge Park. One more time, the Mariners take care of the Firebirds, 8-5, the final score. We'll talk to you Tuesday.